Shabbat Shalom, saints.
Shalom.
I want to welcome you to another Sabbath of the Most High Yah, here with the Multitude of Christ Ministry, broadcasting out of Quadash land. My name is Ra'ayakanan, also called Pastor Johnny. My reader today is Brother Michael. We greet you in the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. So this morning's lesson is entitled Charity. The people need help from God. Charity. The people need help from God. So without further ado, sisters and brothers, we're going to get this Shabbat started. And if you would please, let's stand and face Jerusalem. And we will have the blowing of the shofar, a few scripture readings, and then we will have a selection from the choir. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right, I'll blow the shofar. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Now the brother is going to read from Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 through 9, and then we'll repeat Luke chapter 11. Go ahead, Ak.
Hear, O ye Israel, Yahweh our Elohim, Yahweh is one. And you shall love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words which I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Hallelujah. Now repeat after him. Luke chapter 11. He's going to read it from the scripture rendition of the Bible. Go ahead, Ak.
Our Abba in the heavens.
Our Abba in the heavens.
Let your name be set apart.
Let your name be set apart.
Let your reign come.
Let your reign come.
Let your desire be done on earth
Let your desire be done on earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us day by day
Give us day by day
our daily bread,
our daily bread.
and forgive us our
And
sins.
forgive us our sins.
For we also forgive everyone
For we also forgive everyone
who is indebted to us.
who is indebted to us.
And do not lead us into trial,
And do not lead us into trial,
but rescue us from the wicked one.
but rescue us from the wicked one.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory forever.
and the glory forever.
In Yahweh Shai's name we pray.
In Yahweh's name we pray.
Hallelujah.
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 You may be seated, sisters and brothers. We're going to ask the choir to come to the front and bless us with a selection.
Testing.
Hallelujah.
All right, we're going to give Yahweh some praise today. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And we all going to follow him and be obedient. Ain't that right?
That's right.
I will follow you wherever you lead me.
I will follow you
Until the end of time. Ooh.
I will follow you.
Yahweh, please guide me.
I will follow you.
Seek and you shall find. What is the way to destruction? What is the gate for sin? Open my eyes to deception. Guide my mind from within.
This life can be so hard.
This life
I need you every day.
I need you every
Please
day.
strengthen my heart
Strengthen my
and
heart.
show me
the way.
I will follow you.
Wherever you lead me,
I will follow you.
until the end of time. Ooh,
I will follow you.
Yahweh, please guide me.
I will follow you.
Seek and you shall find. You gave me understanding. I put my life in your hands. This world can be so demanding, but now I know where I stand.
This life can be so hard.
This life is
I need you every day.
Oh, I need you every
Please
day.
strengthen my heart
Strengthen my
and
heart.
show me
The way.
I will follow you.
Wherever you lead me,
I will follow you.
until the end of time. Ooh,
I will follow you.
Yahweh, please guide me.
I will follow you.
Seek and you shall find. I will follow. I will.
Follow you,
I
Lord.
will follow. I will.
Follow you.
I will follow you. I will.
Follow you,
I
Lord.
will follow you. I will.
I will follow you.
Wherever you lead me,
I will follow you.
until the end of time. Ooh,
I will follow you.
Yahweh, please guide me.
I will follow you.
Seek and you shall find.
I will follow you. Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High. We give him the praise and the glory, saints. And today's title and today's subject is charity. The people need help from God, who we know his name is Yahweh. So before we get started, I'm going to ask Brother Michael to open us up with prayer, and we're going to get right to today's lesson. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Go ahead, brother.
Yahweh Most High, Abba of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yahweh, we come to you humbling ourselves, saying the water.
The water, Yahweh.
Thank you, Yahweh, for allowing us to see again another Sabbath day. Yahweh, we ask that you forgive us for any sins we may have committed unknowingly throughout this week as we toil day by day through and fro to get to this Sabbath day. And again, we say the water.
The water.
Yahweh, I ask that you allow me to read boldly today and for Pastor to speak boldly the words you placed upon his heart to speak to your people that are searching for you diligently and so that they can be edified. Yahweh, we ask that everything that is said today be pleasing in your sight and that it be your voice that is heard. Decrease us, Yahweh, and push yourself forward so that your people can hear you. Yahweh, we say again, the water.
The water.
For all that you have done for us, because it is only by you and your grace alone that we are here. We ask that you be with those that could not be here with us today. Be with them wherever they are. Let them hear your voice today, and let them still seek you even though they're not present. Yahweh, we say again, the water.
The water, Yahweh.
The water, Yahweh. All I can do is say thank you. In your son Yahweh Shai's name we pray. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Well, all praise and glory, sisters and brothers. We're going to get right to this lesson. I can tell you it's been inspired by the day's current events. The things that you're seeing on social media, the things that are going on in the news. Sister and brother, you should not be troubled by them because they've been prophesied to happen for thousands of years. We just didn't know directly how the enemy was going to employ his plan, but now you can see how much of it's being unfolded, right? In my mind, the Most High just if you can go back with me, many of you who were in college in the 90s, if you had taken the economics or micro or macro, you would have taken and read a book called Workforce 2020. Or if you were in a community college in that time, some variation of an economic book, basically your professors telling you that around 2020, something economic was going to happen to change this world. Sisters and brothers, the economists have known this for decades.
That's right.
That means someone has been orchestrating this economic collapse. So is this an economic collapse? No, but it's the fulfillment of prophecy by way of Diablos, demon, the children of the devil that have been trying to rule this world. This is one of their schemes, sisters and brothers. This has been a plan in place. So where did the Negro, the black, the colored, the indigenous, autochthonous, the swarthy, where did the color man, what role did he play in this economic scheme? Well, it brings me to this thought, right? The economics of this world rotate off of who? Whose trade, whose commerce, who influences the dollar, which is just a piece of paper, a fiat currency backed by whose labor? You and me. Well, I say you and me if you're the you and me that it applies to.
That's right.
Because there is a system, there is commandments, there's this whole commerce system that the world used to operate off of, and it was gold, silver, and your crops versus my cattle. The real currency in this world is off of you being able to feed yourself, clothe yourself, and have a place to live.
That's right.
Everything you do, all the hard work you do, all the money you make is for what? For you to feed yourself, keep your water on, the lights on, and a place for you to live. In the cold, you want heat. In the summer, you want to be cool. Sisters and brothers, we used to supply those things for ourselves without this system of currency, which used to be backed by gold. Now it's backed by what? Nothing. Laws. You look and say, why are people storming on the Capitol? Because that currency that's in your pocket only works if you allow it to work.
That's right.
Millions of people in this world know that that fiat currency, that $100 bill that you see all them dudes walking around in the music videos stacked up, that is worthless. It's
That's
no
right.
good. It's no good for nothing but starting a fire to keep you warm in the winter. What is the real value? What is real currency? What is the real thing that you and I should be trading for if me and you were working together economically, socially? Would we need that system? So I'm not saying them storming on capitals is right. I'm saying, do you know one of the reasons why they're storming? You know, there's some good always in chaos, right? The motto of our enemy is what? Order out of chaos.
That's right.
Are you seeing the change that is going to happen? What do you think happened when they went from gold to fiat currency? What happened when they went from slave collateral to no collateral? Did they ever stop making money off the slave? That's a good question, isn't it? If we, the work of the Negro, is carrying the economy, can you not see that they are about to destroy that economy system and create a new one? They know fiat currency is only was good as long as they had slave labor.
That's right.
Now the slave is waking up seeing, hey, your stock and your trade is me. So in 2020, they already knew that there was going to be an economic collapse. So instead of just letting it be an economic collapse where people storm the Capitol and say, we no longer accept the fiat, let's go to gold and silver or whatever, they doubled down and said, hey, let's kill them if we don't need them no more.
Right.
Because we're going to go to what? Bitcoin. Some kind of electronic currency which they can control by the push of a button. So if you could control it with a push of a button, you no longer need paper notes. So what is the new system that they're going to create? So what are you talking about, Pastor Johnny? I'm saying these systems were never created with us in mind. So when you get to the title of this lesson, I'm going to show you what they had to do was destroy our economy. We are so busy fighting black on black crime, cop on black crime, abortion, criminal injustice system, this system, that system. We don't have time to do what? Take care of ourselves economically.
That's right.
So if economics is cattle, crops, water supply, shelter, if all of those things are important, why are me and you not able to do it? Why are we not able to come together and consolidate, liquidate, relocate together? They're doing it. I'm out here in the country and I see families, 3, 4, 5 families on the same property, consolidating all of their wealth to live together. Here we are, Israel, talking about unite, Kwam Yasharallah. But we don't understand the basic principle of charity and loving thy neighbor. We the ones asking for a handout when we could employ the same tactics that every other nation uses. We're just the only one that don't know who we are, and we're the only ones that can't come together to work together. We're the only ones still asking God for help when he's already showed us biblically what we need to do to make it. We the only people in this world that still ain't got an economic system back. Yeah, they took it from us in the 40s. Martin Luther King already told us they took out our economic floor. Our greatest black leader ever already told you that by laws, they took away our economic floor. Hey, you want to be a sharecropper? Be a sharecropper. Wait a minute, it was your land? Okay, by law, now it's the people that work for you, those Caucasian Americans, those people that came from Angel Island and Ellis Island, came and they were coming to the West, working for the colored, and now all of a sudden they changed the penmanship, and now that land no longer belongs to whose family has been in for thousands of years. Martin Luther King told you that. So now that I'm dropping all of this stuff on you, I'm talking about economics and socialism and all kind of different things, right? Well, how does that fit to the title of this lesson? Well, sisters and brothers, can't you see everybody's prophesying that in the next week or 2 weeks, it's going to be worse than March 2020? They didn't just storm the Capitol in D.C. Now they're planning to storm every capital in the state of the United States. So what do you think the powers that be going to do? They're going to push the button and say, oh yeah, boom. Stop moving your distribution trucks. If they want to be like that, stop filling up Walmart. Stop filling up Kroger's and all these grocery stores. Stop moving gas. Are you ready? Because you're so busy hating on your sister and hating on your brother and whose music and who's going to get my magazine and buy my book. You're not talking to your brothers and sisters that are supposed to be in the truth with you in the same city.
That's right.
When all hell break loose, you ain't got no walkie-talkie. You don't have no CB. You're going to cut your cell phone off. They're going to cut your internet off. And you are not going to be in contact with the Israelite that could be 2 houses down. Because you don't fool with people you don't have a rapport with, do you?
That's right.
You don't. Just because they are of melanated skin, you're not going to run across the street and say, what are we going to do? Because you might not be able to trust them no more than the rest of the Gentiles that are around you.
That's right.
So we need to look in the scriptures and see who is our neighbor, who are our people, what does the scripture say about who we should be helping? Because after I did this lesson, see, my daughter brought some scriptures to me. She ran into some Israelite brothers in her apartment, and they brought a scripture out, and I mean, it did sit with my spirit, just like not keeping Christmas and not Easter. When you hear about everything the first time, it don't feel good.
That's
because
right.
You've been doing it your whole life.
So now you have to ask a question, do I go along and keep doing the same thing I've been doing, or do I follow scripture? Do I try to find out what scripture means?
Mm-hmm.
Was it just in the Apocrypha, or is it also in the 66 books? How do I tie that into what's going on now, right? The nations are already together. They have already built their bunkers. They already got communities that we ain't in, and if we in them, we are in the minority. They can get rid of us very easily.
Quickly.
Huh? They're going to walk up and say, get down and lay down. I was in Walmart yesterday, and all they were lined up buying shotguns and shotgun shells. For what? For who? If you're going to take down the system of government, okay, that could be what you're seeing on TV, but then what role do we play if that system is broken? That system didn't fit us, but what if another system comes? Is that going to be good for us? We still aren't talking to each other. We still aren't unified. We still haven't consolidated our resources. We are the number one consumer in the world. The world's stock and trade moves off of our buying power.
That's right.
But we're not together, so it's no threat to any institution in the world. But everyone in the world wants to dress like us, dance like us, live like us, sing like us. They want to be us. But us ain't together. So let's get into this lesson, and I hope all of that makes sense as we move forward in these scriptures, because the people need help from the Most High. We're the most religious people in the world, but we also the most disobedient. That's right. So let's see how this lesson can help us as we are dawning on a new day. As we're dawning on change, let's start with the definition. Read definition of charity. So there's three definitions, main definitions they give of charity. So in your thought process, when you hear charity, you're thinking of a charitable organization. You're not thinking of the Bible usage of charity as how we treat each other, right? So a charitable organization is coming together saying, hey, we're supposed to be doing this good for this segment of people, right? Well, let's look at the three definitions of charity. We need to break down charity in the Bible and who it's supposed to be for. Go ahead.
Charity, an organization set up to provide help and raise money for those in need.
So our first thought process, when you hear anybody use the word charity, you're thinking of an organization, Salvation Army, Red Cross, something like that, right? Some kind of charity organization that an athlete or an actor has set up, right? Go ahead.
The voluntary giving of help.
So the second definition is the voluntary giving of help is thought of as charity. Go ahead.
Typically in the form of money to those in need.
So the second thing you think of, if the first thing is an organization, and the second thing you think of is getting money. Right? Now let's look at this third definition. Go ahead.
Kindness and tolerance in judging others.
Okay. See, that's more aligned with biblical definition of charity. We're walking around saying we can't judge each other when there is no organization that you're a part of, no gang, no job. There's nowhere where there isn't a system of judging you whether you follow procedure or not. There's nowhere you go outside. Even in your home, you have a system of judging whether that child is obedient or not. But we are the main religious people walking around saying nobody but God can judge me. Well, if you're not following God and you won't let nobody judge you, you're in a win-win situation for sin.
That's right.
Nobody can tell you sinning but God, and you're not following God, then you're above reproach, right? Where do you go? You go to work, you don't do what you're supposed to do, somebody's telling you, right? We're having a meeting about feel, felt, found, right? You exceed expectations. You're not meeting expectations. Any of you ever had those conversations? That's them judging you based off of your production. Huh? In the church, any of you ever sat before the council? Anybody sat before the pastor? You've been kicked out? You've been put on not a sabbatical, but you've been disavowed or whatever they call that? Yeah. Has that happened to any of you? Well, we're going to talk about scripture, right? Because if you apply it to everyone in the world, I'm going to be honest with you, this Bible does not make sense. Because this Bible and these scriptures and these prophecies and these judgments and these laws were only for one nation of people.
That's right.
And what I'm saying with all of this, that my wife's saying, you just go on and on. But what I'm trying to tell you and show you is this. If you take away the people that this applies to, then this Bible is no better for you than some Buddhist quotes or some proverbs by some Indian monk or some, Krishna, or it's nothing but proverbs that, people use to better their lives, right? They can simplify it into just simple proverbs that the Israelites followed. You know what I mean? They just take away the people altogether. They take away the people and the God, and then these are just some good principles to live by. But watch this. Let's talk about the Bible. Everybody's talking about they need God, they need help. But let's get specific on who we were supposed to be helping, because if you can't use this Bible, remember, we're the most religious, and we also the economic power that moves the world. If we got this wrong, then we could be spending our charitable efforts in the wrong place. My daughter showed me that passage. I was like, whoa. And then I went to the group and I heard them use it, and I was like, it makes total sense. We are the ones complaining about being in the ghetto, but we are the number one economic power in the world. We got more economic power than most countries. And we still crying about we need God when he's already given us everything that we needed. Y'all hear me? Yes, sir. He's already given us everything that we needed. But we're not using it to help each other. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 1. 1 Timothy chapter 1, we're going to read verse 5, and we're going to read it in various translations. We're going to read it in the KJV, we're going to read it in the New Living Translation, and we're going to read it in the Good News Translation. 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 5. Go ahead.
Now the end of the commandment is charity.
The end of the commandment, the bottom line of keeping the commandments, the bottom line of any principle, proverb, and teaching in this book is charity. Are we talking about an organization? Are we talking about giving money? Or are we talking about how we judge and deal with one another? Go ahead.
Out of a pure heart.
Out of a what?
Out of a pure heart.
So if you're not doing charity towards one another out of a pure heart, that means you're doing it out of a what kind of heart? A wicked heart. Go ahead.
And of a good conscience.
And of a good conscience. Go ahead.
And of faith unfeigned.
Faith unfeigned. So, the KJV, they use the kind of words that these translators don't have to use, these difficult words or these old English terms that we don't understand. So sometimes you might have to get another translation to make it more clear what they're saying, right? The end of the commandments is charity, but what do they really mean? Pure heart, good conscience, faith unfeigned, right? Let's go look at it. Look at it. Read it in the New Living Translation. Go ahead.
The purpose of my instruction is that all believers would be filled with love that comes from a pure heart and a clear conscience and genuine faith.
Genuine faith. That faith unfeigned is genuine faith. That means there is some fake faith out here. That's why the multitude of Christ, we teach all nations how to find true salvation according to the scriptures.
That's right.
Because there's people that has some faith that's not genuine. They believe they're saved when they're not. And they have some love and charity that's not very good. It's misdirected. Their instructions is not filled with love. Charity is love, right? So when we go back to those definitions, the Bible is talking about love. So the third definition applies. Kindness and tolerance in judging others.
That's right.
You got to have a little bit of tolerance, a little bit of patience with one another, right? All heck is about to break loose, but our people don't have a lot of patience, and we're not very kind to each other. Even when we know the world could be ending for us, we still are not kind and tolerant one to another. Read it in the Good News translation. Go ahead.
The purpose of this order is to arouse the love that comes from a pure heart,
It can only come from a pure heart. Go ahead.
a clear conscience, and a genuine faith.
Genuine faith. So he's saying these commandments, this instruction, this order has to come from a pure place. Our problem with our people in the churches is we're so fake. The things we do not come from genuineness.
That's right.
It doesn't come from order. It's lawless, right? I do what it takes for me to feel good. I'm doing what it's going to take for me and mine to be protected. That's really the unconscious intent of why people are doing things. So it allows leaders to come and lie to you, right? So if you see that destruction is coming, are you preparing to help save you and others, or just you? So what if you make it and you cut a deal with the enemy, and then once you get rid of all your people, then they get rid of you?
That's right.
You would have been a willing vessel in the extinction of your own people. With thus said your Lord. Because you don't read that in the scriptures.
That's right.
They're giving you the salve, the healing, the instructions, but they're telling it to you in a very fake, ungenuine, and wicked way. Because it includes everybody that's involved with destroying this certain people that can't get along and are always crying in their community about how bad it is and how much they need God. Being religious. But why wouldn't your leader just teach you what charity means and who it's for? And if you're giving your tithes and offering and it's coming into the congregation, why isn't it should be people beating down the door of congregations that are using these scriptures in the right way. Because in the end, they're the only ones that's going to really endure. Let's keep going. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8. Go ahead, Art.
And above all things,
Uh-huh.
have fervent charity among yourselves.
We supposed to have fervent. Do anybody know what fervent means? Fervent charity. This is just not talking about regular love. We're not just talking about any kind of love. We're talking about fervent love, right? What do you think fervent love means? Look it up. Because that type of charity is what we're supposed to be using amongst one another. Go ahead.
For charity shall cover the multitude of sins.
So when you figure out what fervent is, then you'll understand that that is the type of love we're supposed to have one towards another. Call it out, fervent.
Fervent, having or displaying a passionate intensity.
Passionate, intense charity. We are so lackadaisical and weak and confused about if we even know who we are supposed to show this kind of love towards. Because if you misplace it, if you misplace your charity, it could be in vain. Because when you direct your charity and your love fervently in the right direction, it's supposed to cover a multitude of transgressing the law. But you can't take the law and commandments off the table and say you're a good person because you deal in charity. You're talking about organizations and give money. That's not what the scriptures is saying. That's not what the scriptures is saying. That's what man has made up to be the new barometer. How much money you got, how much you give, to who do you give it to, right? You get in the streets and the first thing people say is, well, what is your congregation doing for the community? First thing they say. Second thing you should say back is, what are you doing for the community?
That's right.
Now they're basing it off of organization and money while they sit there and disrespect you and talk down to you. So that while they're not showing the love fervently and charity of the Bible, they would try to convict you and condemn you by a standard that the Most High doesn't use. Your giving of money to whatever organization does not cover a multitude of sins. Whether or not you're lying in my face, whether or not you're a talebearing against me, whether or not you are cheating me and defrauding me, that covers a multitude of sins. How you are judging me. Are you keeping me honest according to the laws and commandments? Are you rebuking and correcting me so that I'm not in sin? Listen, when you reject correction, you're saying, I want to continue being a sinner. That's basically what you're saying. It don't matter if you don't like hearing it from the person. If it's true, you have just admitted that you like to stay in sin. Well, I might be lying, but I don't like you to correct me. I might have been slandering that person, but I didn't like the way you said it to me. This is how we dealing with each other. Well, it may be true. They might shut down the grocery stores and all that, but I'm going to be okay. I don't know about you. Think about it. They predicted that this economy was going to crash. They put a disease out there, or said that there was a disease out there. They shut you in your house. You can no longer get spiritual advice. And now people are marching on the Capitol. It could be a whole economic global breakdown. But you stuck at home, scared of a disease, not communicating, and not having a holy convocation. Put it all together. You were already not dealing with each other. Now you don't even got to be face to face with them. Shelter in place, social distance, stay away. And while you're staying away, they're passing laws. They're about to change the currency. Your dollar is going to be worthless. Then they're going to open up the community, but you can't work unless you got this shot, which is probably going to kill you anyway. Let's keep going. Sirach in the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus chapter 11. You got to have it, sisters and brothers. We're going to be here this whole lesson. Sirach chapter 11, verse 17. What does it say?
The gift of Yahweh remaineth with the godly, and his favor bringeth prosperity forever.
Wait a minute. So people that think they're prosperous are the ones going around trying to be the most charitable.
Yeah.
What's the word they call them? Philanthropists. Right? I got a lot of money and I'm helping them poor Africans. Man, Africa's a very rich country.
Man, for real. Y'all better stop playing.
You got to Google what these places really look like. Mm-hmm. Even in the Philippines and certain places, they downtowns look like your downtowns. Yeah. Well, maybe not your downtown, but New York City. Yeah. These places all over the world got these mega cities with skyscrapers all over the world. Mm-hmm. And these philanthropists get to write off certain things through charities, right? So think about this. We are the number one consumers in the world.
We are.
That means, let's just say the 40 million people classified as Negro and Black, right? Mm-hmm. Have more spending power than every other nationality in the United States. I'm not talking about the 1%. I'm talking about the 12%, whatever money that 40 million people is making, they spend more than the 1% who are supposed to have all the wealth.
Right.
But obviously, the 40 million have some wealth.
Absolutely.
And the stock trade and all e-commerce and Black Friday and everything is built around that 40 million Negro Americans. It's 400 million people estimated in America. But this 40 million spend more, and have more buying power, but they're not unified. This group is also considered to be the lost tribe of Judah in majority. The gift of Yahweh remaineth with the godly. This 40 million people are also supposed to be the most evangelical and most spiritual in the whole world. Think about that. Most evangelical, most spiritual, most spending power. We got all the top athletes. Everybody in the world wants to be like this 40 million people, but this 40 million people got a crabs in the barrel mentality. They also have a problem with not loving one another and showing fervent charity towards one another. But the gift of the Lord is toward the godly, not the religious, not a denomination, not the denomination or the religion of blacks or where blacks go, not just the Baptist church. He's talking about the godly people, those people that keep his commandments. And his favor bringeth prosperity forever. Based on those criteria alone, could the Most High still be preserving his people?
Yes, sir.
In their wickedness, he's still preserving his people. Because the word says so. That was a free gift. All we're doing is punishing ourselves and keeping ourselves at the bottom by being disobedient.
That's right.
By not knowing who we are, not knowing who our brother is and who our neighbor is. We're spending our charitable efforts. Think about this. If Oprah was going to get a charitable write-off and she put that money with her people, who and how much of the ghetto community could she help? How about Tyler Perry? How about Jay-Z? How much money do you think they write off to charitable organizations? The problem is the handlers and the people that pay them do not allow them to put that charitable money back into their own people.
That's right.
How can we have so many millionaires in the communities where they come from? Marcy Projects is still a projects.
Yeah.
How many of those families could Jay-Z have given his charitable tax donations to get them out the ghetto? How about Oprah in Chicago? Because it looks like Akon, he understands where he can get his ride off and spend his money.
Yeah.
He ain't spending it here. He got it here and he's spending it where his people is. Sounds like same thing other nations do, right? He's only doing what Koreans and Chinese people in India, they come over here, get educated, and the Mexicans come, they get the money and they send their money back to their families in Mexico. We are the only nation of people, that 40 million people that make all of that money. We still complaining like we need help from God. We're still asking for reparations, but we spend more money than everybody in the world.
We do.
Let's get back to the lesson. The gift of Yahweh remaineth with the godly, and his favor bringeth prosperity forever. Let's go to Titus chapter 2. Remember that. Write these notes down. It's going to all come together here in a minute. Titus chapter 2, verse 11 to 13. Titus chapter 2, verse 11 to 13. That's what I want. Go ahead.
For the grace of Yahweh that bringeth salvation had appeared to all men.
All right. So the Most High has a gift for the godly. His favor bringeth prosperity to the godly forever. Also, God bringeth salvation unto all men. Go ahead. Verse 12.
Teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust.
Wait a minute. So godliness and being godly is doing something. You do something to show you're godly.
That's right.
You know, like what worldly lust could you be doing?
A lot of them out.
It's a lot of things people lust for, which turn the love of God away from them. But we're supposed to know as godly people that we're supposed to deny ungodliness. So you would need to know and define what is godly, because if you don't do it, then you are ungodly. And worldly lust, go ahead.
We should live soberly.
You should have your mind and your thoughts always on the Most High and keeping his commandments, lest you find yourself doing worldly lust and being ungodly. Go ahead.
Righteously and godly.
Right.
In this present world.
In this world. In this world.
Come on, now.
I'm going to tie it all together, man. In this world, there's a group of people in majority carrying the weight of the whole world economic system who now have been deemed no longer needed. Now there's a plan to get rid of them and implement a new system and make this world great again. But for who?
Teach,
Now we're going back to Manifest Destiny,
Yeah.
Doctrine of Discovery.
That's right.
Papal Bulls.
Uh-huh.
So that economic system which was formed is no longer needed anymore. But the people that are the descendants of those Yahudim need to wake up
That's right.
and be godly, righteous, and sober in this world. Go ahead, verse 13.
Looking for that blessed hope and the glorious appearing of the great Yahweh of our Savior, Yahweh Shah Mashiach.
See, I don't make no big deal of nationality and race because it's going to come down to who's godly and who's ungodly. There's promises for godly and there are punishments for the ungodly. You got to start figuring out who you are walking around with these scriptures. Watch this. Go back to Sirach. Pick it back up. Chapter 33.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, you got to have it handy. You better keep that app up. Chapter 33, we're going to read verse 14. We just making a ground, right? I talked about society and who's carrying the weight and who's religious, who they look for religious practices, who they look at for clothing, dancing, singing. Who does the whole world, every nation want to be like? They want to be like us, but they want to look lighter and brighter. They want to look lighter and brighter as far as skin tone.
Skin people.
They want straight hair, but they want our lips. They want our butt, our legs, our muscles, our speed, our jumping. But they just don't want to be dark. It's kind of weird.
Something about that darkness, huh?
They can't stand in the sun,
Yeah.
but they don't want to get no darker.
But they go get tan.
It makes no sense. I can't stand in the sun, but I don't want to be dark, but that's the only way I can live. But I don't like it that those people down there live so long.
Yeah, yeah.
So not only am I going to poison them, but when I kill them, I'm going to take their organs because I want their organs. I want their organs, but I don't want them to live. I don't need them for my new economic plan because fiat money is based off nothing. Watch this. Sirach 33, verse 14. I'm just dropping nuggets as we go. It'll all come together. Sirach 33, verse 14. Go ahead.
Good is set against evil,
Good is set against evil.
and life against death.
Light skin against dark skin. No, you
Life
don't
against
see
death.
that. You don't see that, do you?
Nah.
Go ahead.
So it is the godly against the sinner.
The godly and the sinner, sisters and brothers, this is the battle that we have within our nation. We have a nation. We got too much economic power and too much influence on the world. We got a nation, but our nation is severed. We don't know who we the nation of. There's some people that are lost, and then there's some people that don't know what nation they are.
Yeah.
But in the end, knowing the nation you are is going to be very small compared to are you following the commandments or not.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And the sinner against the godly.
See, godly against sinner, sinner against godly. We got to figure out what nation we're from,
Right?
so we can know who our brother and sister is, so then we can figure out of our brothers and sisters who's godly and who's the sinner.
That's right.
I want you to write that down. You're going to have to know what nation you're from, because we ain't all the same people. You got to stop saying we the same people, because we weren't all the ones running down on the Capitol.
That's right.
I don't remember seeing nobody that looked like me in the Capitol footage. But the ones that did have melanation amongst those tens of thousands, They didn't talk like me.
That's right.
They may not have been from my nation, even though they were very melanated.
Mm-hmm.
Write that down. Godly against the sinner, sinner against the godly. How can two walk together unless they agree?
Come on out.
We in the same community.
Yeah.
Everybody in DeSoto, Cedar Hill, down there in Oak Cliff, but everybody ain't the same people.
That's right.
You got to get out there and talk to your neighbor so you can see where your neighbor at.
That's right.
You got a house full of food and your neighbor ain't got nothing in his refrigerator. What do you think's going to happen if the economy crashes? That person that look like you is going to try to kick your dough down.
Come and get it.
Because y'all weren't able to come to an understanding of how we need to consolidate, liquidate. We're already together. We can fortify ourselves right here where we at. But if he ain't godly, he gonna get you anyway.
That's right.
Because sinner is lawlessness.
Mm-hmm.
You live by rules and principles. What did it say earlier? Order and instruction. They could care less. My kid is hungry. My kid want water. You got 20 cases of water in there. You don't want to give me one. I'm going to take them all. It's going to be a bad thing, sisters and brothers, if we don't wake up and figure out what nation we from, who is our real brother and sister, and who's really godly and who's really a sinner. Because you ain't going to be able to tell by looking at churches because ain't nobody at them churches on your block.
Church is empty. Y'all.
Church is empty, right? Let's keep going. Let's go to chapter 9 of Ecclesiasticus. Chapter 9. Like, what this got to do with the lesson? They say charity, but we got to figure out who the people are that keep asking for God's help.
Yeah. Got to get to the chair.
Because we wasn't the people that was trying to destroy the system at the capitals. But we are the people that play a major role in that economic system that is being threatened.
That's right.
Sirach 9 and 12. Sirach 9 verse 12. Go ahead.
Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in.
So it's a lot of things, a lot of worldly lust out here that consume you on your social media. Like you can't even watch those soap operas no more because they're all leading you toward what? Fornication.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Playing jokes on each other. You know what I'm saying? Disrespecting each other. All everybody's vlogging about the same thing. It's all disorder and dysfunction. If you laughing at it, you might have a little dysfunction in you. But that's what they're pushing out there. The top vloggers, ain't none of them talking about godly things, are they?
No, not at all.
The top vloggers making all the millions of dollars that keep giving the giveaways, the stuff you keep getting in their comments, trying to get the free stuff that they giving away now. Why? Because they making thousands of millions of dollars off of you watching their silliness. And it's all doing the same thing that our enemy is doing, exploiting the dysfunction in our community. Delight not in the things that ungodly people have pleasure in. What was the number one song in 2020? Yeah, you know. Number one song in the whole world.
Wow.
WAP.
You already know it.
WAP by an individual that the black women's rights 15 years ago would have crucified her and drug her in the streets. Mm-hmm. And they would have had public vlogs or back then news conferences stepping and burning on that record. Mm-hmm. But now you got black women rock, and now the black women are allowed to do whatever the heck they want to do. Because now they are unified saying, we won't let nobody tear down what a black woman is built up. Mm-hmm. Even if it's the worst representation of ourselves. But you're not supposed to take pleasure in wickedness.
That's right.
In ungodliness. Satan is very subtle. I'm telling you, he ain't got to do much. He's got so many distractions for that 40 million people. Which carry the economic weight of this whole country.
That's right.
I can't get by that. We minority, but we carry the whole Wall Street. We carry it. We just don't know we carry it. Go ahead.
Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in, but remember, they shall not go unpunished unto their grave.
Sister, brother, you walking around seeing people in your community sin. You're looking at all these posts of ungodliness. You're looking at Israelite camps and churches go at each other and not show fervent charity towards one another. Most High said they are not going to go unpunished.
Ain't no way.
I want you to hear what he just said. The ungodly, think about it. To be godly, you would have had to have heard the commandments, instructions, the law, and the order. The other nations never received the commandments from the Most High. Who are these prophets talking about? Who are these scriptures really referring and talking to? It makes sense that if you grew up not knowing the understanding of the scriptures, you would think it would apply to everybody. Everybody's a Christian. Everybody loves Jesus. All you have to do is confess with your mouth and believe with your heart.
That's it.
But that ain't what this Bible is talking about.
That's right.
That's what we was given to teach. Mm-hmm. And some of our black pastors act like we still in the 1600s.
Yeah.
Like they can't say nothing else. By golly, don't you talk about my Jesus and don't you talk about people like that. We all bleed red. They say the same crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. Where they learn all this stuff and they just filtered it through the church. God loves everybody. No, he doesn't.
That's right.
Mm-mm. The prosperity is for the godly forever. The godly are the only ones that was given the commandments and that keep them. Delight not in the pleasure of the ungodly. Sister and brother, it's going to come down to the children of the devil and the children of God.
That's right.
Let's keep going.
Somebody ain't going to win, huh?
Somebody ain't going to win, but I'm trying to show the people who this applies to themselves. Watch this. We're going to get into it. Ecclesiasticus, we still in the Apocrypha. You got to have one if you're going to follow this ministry. Chapter 11. Sirach chapter 11. Verse 21. Go ahead.
Marvel not at the works of sinners.
Wait a minute. He just said, delight not in the things that the ungodly have pleasure in. Now he's saying what? Marvel not. You can't help it, can you? You look on social media like, how he got that necklace made? How that rapper got that car? How this girl get this? How this brother get that? How is everybody getting this success in the world? Most High said, don't marvel at how they got it now. The ungodly are not going to go unpunished. And that stuff could be all rented and leased. Mm-hmm. She's showing you them red bottoms, but it came out of her advance.
That's right.
She got to go prostitute herself all over the world and make that concert money back to pay off them shoes. That brother got to pay off that belt. He got to pay off them Yeezy shoes. He giving a whole mortgage payment for some shoes. A whole car note for some shoes. On their feet. That's why they Ubering. Can't make a car note and wear a car note on your feet.
Come on, huh?
Marvel not at the works of sinners. They're going to look like they got all the prosperity. That's what we doing, man. We got all this money in our pocket and we blowing it, trying to keep up with the 1% and the Joneses when we could work with each other and just like every other nationality of people and build ourselves up. We could come together and get our own grocery store, our own barber, our own this and our own car lot and everything that they used to do back in the 20s and the 40s and build our communities up. But instead, our kids is buying $300 video games, skinny jeans and blouses. Our women want to wear jewelry and everybody's always buying stuff. And so when this economy crashed, everybody's gonna have a whole bunch of stuff around that don't matter. Why? Because they were marveling, they were on social media too much, and they don't know that those are spiritual spells in a visual form to get you to keep buying stuff. Right. Buy. Yours work, but you gotta keep buying. You got lotion, but oh, that lotion's better. Oh, I got skin cream, but there's some new skin cream. Now you got 15 skin creams. You don't use none of them. You're throwing away and you wasting because you keep buying this eyeshadow and that shampoo. And here goes some other hair gel. And sisters is just, man, if you ain't buying 15 different perms, we natural now. Now you buying 15 different hair juice, Jerry curl, conditioners, all they got to do is keep making it up, and people put a commercial out there. They're gonna buy that commercial. Yeah. The brother's got a new hairbrush that's supposed to bring out waves. You got 3 wave brushes. I need that wave brush, huh? Let me just keep on going and going, man. How many t-shirt companies we got, man? I need that t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? You got a closet full of clothes, but when the economy go down, you ain't got no meat. You ain't got no vegetables. They can turn the water off. You thirsty. It's going to make you look like the Walking Dead. Because it ain't nothing worse than starving, thirsty people wandering, looking to appease the hunger and the thirst that is in their belly. Stop marveling at the sinners and what the sinners got. But then when our sisters and brothers get all that money, they don't know what to do with it. Go ahead.
Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in Yahweh.
You don't trust in the Lord. You trust in the money you got to go keep buying. So that Korean store, everybody going to keep going and get that yaki weave, and they're going to go buy their oils, and they're going to go buy their do-rags, and then they're going to go back and be like, yeah, girl, we got the Koreans taking over, and the Indians got the gas station. You still going to that gas station to get your gas.
That's right.
You still going to that hotel to stay. It's what you got in your community: a church, a chicken shop, liquor, and salons, barbershops. Why? Because that 40 million people is all worried about what they look like. I seen many millionaires that came through the banks when I worked in the bank, and none of them look like you. None of them got their hair done. None of them walking around brushing their waves. None of them got on Gucci and Louis Vuitton, and they look like regular Joe Blow with flannels because they know that that's not where their buying power should be spent. You buying dresses, they buying goats. You buying shoes, they buying cows. That's right. They buying seed, you buying weed. Huh? God made it from the earth. You smoking it up, and they planting the food you're going to want to eat when you get the hungers. It's going to come a day that your high and your addictions is going to kill you. Read it from the top again.
Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in Yahweh and abide in thy labor.
Wait a minute. In thy labor. You working that hard and you ain't got no money in the bank. Although the money in the bank is fiat money backed by nothing, and at a push of a button, you cannot have access to it, but your money, you shouldn't take it and put it under a mattress. You should take it, get with people that are also laboring, and build things in a system where you no longer need that much money. If you got land and you got water, or you trapping the free water that comes from the sky and you're able to drink it, cook with it, and also feed the vegetation so you could put some greens and some meat on your plate, sister and brother, what else is there to live for? Because if you are really laboring to get the desires that you need, you're not worried about red bottoms and Jordans. That's right. And video games. Why? Because you outside making sure your sheep and your chicken and your cows and those things are preserved and live, because if the economy crashes, you never needed it because your whole system is on your property. But you marveling, they got you marveling at things they showing you while they are stocking and stockpiling bullets and seed and exchanging animals, which is real currency.
That's right.
Go ahead. For it is easier.
For it is an easy thing in the sight of Yahweh on the sudden to make a poor man rich.
All of a sudden, you sinning, you giving up all the wealth you labored for to look like and be like somebody else. And in an instant, that person is filing chapter 13, chapter 7. Tyson done sold his mansion. Birdman done sold a mansion that he was renting, or he can't get out the lease. Or all of a sudden, their money is gone. All of a sudden, the money that I done played football for 15 years. Why you don't got no money? Your net worth over those years was $200 million, and you ain't got nothing.
Nothing.
You got to do a McDonald's commercial, brother. You done made $200 million in 5 years. You ain't got no money. Where's the money? We're not teaching our people about finances. We're not teaching them to put their money in what matters. They invest in the stuff overseas when they could have just bought land. Man, you know what Bill Gates just did? He bought a lot of land here in the United States.
Yep.
It could be land occupied by people. That's what they do. And all they're going to do is get rid of the people that's on it. Our thoughts and our ways is not consumed in what the Most High God told us to be consumed in. We are marveling at sinners trying to be like the ungodly. We're taking pleasure in things that are meaningless. If you die right now, everybody is just going to come in your house and take what you have stockpiled. Stuff. But spiritually, you have condemned yourself to the lake of fire. It's no big thing all of a sudden for somebody rich to be brought down to a state of poverty. Y'all see that? So what is rich and poor to the Most High?
None.
What makes you rich? Where did he tell you to store your treasures up?
In heaven.
So why are you buying all of this stuff? How much curlier can your hair get? How much juicier do you want your lips? How much lip gloss you buying? How much fingernail polish you gonna do? If you working out in the garden, in the yard, why you need all the fingernail polish? You need to teach your son to be looking for a woman that can feed him. Not go to the grocery store, but she can take it out the ground and put the dish on the plate.
That's good.
That's how our grandmamas and great-grandmamas did it, didn't it? They had the chickens in the back. We running around. We don't know how that fried chicken got on the plate. We knew there's some chickens back there clucking, and now everybody got enough chicken.
Yeah.
You might not have seen the process, but them women was able to feed 10 to 12 children. They wasn't going to the grocery store. How easily that we forget. How did they feed 15 children? Let's keep going. We in Sirach. We ain't went nowhere. Chapter 13. We're going to be here. 13 and 24. Watch this. Ecclesiastes 13 and 24. Go ahead.
Riches are good unto him that had no sin.
Listen, sister and brother. As big as Tyler Perry is, the work that he's putting out is sinful.
Man.
That's right.
All the riches that Oprah have is meaningless.
That's right.
You can only enjoy wealth if you know that in this life he gave it to me and I am going to make it in a life to come. That's the only time it's enjoyable. If you gained it by sacrificing your mama or by getting on your knees in a Monica Lewinsky or bending over like a pig for someone to ride you, that ain't enjoyable. You got all of that money because you killed your child or you sacrificed your brother or your friend. Why you think all these actors and rappers are so miserable? Because the cost of their fame wasn't worth it. Go ahead.
And poverty is evil in the mouth of the ungodly.
Y'all see that thing? You can't enjoy riches if you're full of sin. And poverty is only evil to the ungodly. Because if you're a godly and you think you're poor, even though the Most High got you what you need,
That's right.
you still should be happy. Because it's really about being godly and ungodly. Y'all see that? Read it again, huh?
Riches are good unto him that had no sin, and poverty is evil in the mouth of the ungodly.
Why are rich people jumping off buildings?
Don't make no sense, huh?
In 2008, why was people killing themselves? Why are people killing themselves with Enron? All right, you had $2 million in that investment. Now you only got 200,000 or $1 million, right? You took a hit. You still got money in that stock. They tell you when you invest it, you could lose it all.
That's right.
I'm willing to lose it all. And then you lose it all, and then you go shoot yourself in the head. It makes no sense.
They can't live without their money.
Riches are good unto him that hath no sin. That means the people that are keeping the commandments enjoy what they are given the most. They are content. I'm rich with my $15 an hour. Oh, I'm really rich with my $20 an hour. Boy, I got $25 an hour. I am still keeping the commandments. I ain't breaking the Shabbat. You see what I'm saying? It is enjoyable when the Most High start blessing you and you are godly.
That's right.
But when you are ungodly, you're always struggling with what you don't have. It seems evil. He don't love me. God don't love me. Ain't nobody looking in the mirror and evaluating themselves on whether they're keeping the commandments or not. Whether they're doing what's pleasing in the sight of the Most High. He said all of a sudden he can make a rich man poor and give the wealth to the godly.
That's right.
That's going to happen. That's prophecy. All of this wealth that you see them storing up in the kingdom, Tyler Perry Studios could be mine. And we ain't going to have no men dressing like women.
That's right.
None.
We're not making no movies with LGBTQ, nothing in it.
None.
We're not glorifying fornication,
That's right.
None.
adultery,
No.
pedophilia,
That's right.
bestiality. You understand what I'm saying? As rich as they are miserable of all. Because it ain't no wealth that can get that stink off of them. There ain't no amount of money. Right? You can't even go back to your hometown no more. Can't walk down the street no more. The price of fame is evil, is it not?
Come on, Hot.
Sirach chapter 30. We finished that verse?
Yeah.
We did, right? Let's go to Sirach chapter 30. Just wisdom in these pages. Of course, they don't want you to hear about it. Sirach chapter 30, verse 14. Go ahead when you're ready.
Better is the poor, being sound and strong of constitution.
Didn't I just say that? Riches are good unto him that hath no sin. Poverty is evil in the mouth of the ungodly. I need you to reevaluate what rich and poor means.
Yeah.
Go ahead from the top.
Better is the poor, being sound and strong in constitution.
Man, I seen some cock diesel big brothers out there on the street. I'm asking, why are you on the street, man? Well, I got a pass. They won't give me a job. But whatever he is getting by on, he is pumping. He is doing them push-ups and sit-ups. These dudes, hey, that doesn't mean you have to let your physical self go down. You might not be able to shower as much as you can, but I mean, I've seen some people that are, taking care of themselves the best that they can. What is poor? You going down like that, oh, I feel sorry for them, man. Most of the people I met didn't really feel sorry. They know exactly why they're in the situation they're in and how they got in it.
Some of them chose it.
Some of them, I've been there where they teaching me. They more worried about me than them.
That's right.
We looking at them like they're poor, so that means they got to be going to hell, but that's only because of a worldly definition of what poor is.
That's right, Hot.
They could be content that they don't have all the worries in the world that we have. Did you hear what I just said? So better is poor being sound in your constitution. You could be rich and lost your mind.
That's right.
Or you could be poor and have all your faculties together. You just don't have all the stuff that everybody else has. It's all of how you're looking at the glass, half full or half empty. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff, but I don't got your worries.
The Brother told us.
I don't have your notes and insurance. I don't have to worry about none of that stuff.
Brother
I
told
get to
us
go
that,
and come as I. Yeah, didn't he? I get to
Told us
go and
that.
come as I will. I don't have your stresses. I mean, I'm talking to people on the street. They look younger than me. They don't have the worries that I do. They 30 years older than me and look younger than me. They don't have my stress and my worries. Go ahead.
Better is the poor, being sound and strong in constitution,
Yeah.
than a rich man that is afflicted in his body.
Look at all these rich people afflicted, spending all this money to get people's organs. They promoting the black on black crime. They paying the cops to go target people that may be on the list. That, you know, I need a lung, I need a kidney. I mean, there's assassins going out, man. These people, these kids' bodies is just not going to the morgue and then going into the funeral home. Man, these bodies is going to the hospital when they're dead, then the morgue. Documents are being falsified. Then you're having closed casket funerals, right? What'd you say, son? They started to show people full up with water or something? I thought they filled your body up with embalming fluid. My son talking about they filling up bodies with water. Now they don't even want you to, if you got that vid, they don't even want you to bring them to the hospital no more. Could just be a regular old flu or cold. Let them die. We're going to get them organs and give them to the highest bidder. Because a lot of rich people that's sick, especially the ones that can't go outside. Let me add that to the list. They don't even want to jump like you, run like you, sing like you, dance like you, dress like you. But they want to be able to go outside like you. With no shirt on. You know, our young bulls, they like walking around with their shirt off. Especially if they look like they got a muscle on them. But everybody can't do that without putting sunscreen and oils and blockers on. I'm just saying, you got 40 million people that can walk around. Man, we got to get them into their house. We got to get them in the community, then get them in the house and stop talking to each other and keep them out of the sun, because the only thing that kills them is vitamin D deficiency. Keep
right.
them out the sun. We going to be in the buildings passing laws and things to make changes, and we just going to peck them off slowly but surely. Uh-oh, we got a big plan now. We can kill a lot of them at once. Let's make them the test subjects, like Tuskegee. Let them take it first. We'll act like we taking it first because there's no way our community leaders can get them to take it, especially with them not being in church for almost 9 months. So if the spiritual leaders and all the diplomatic leaders pretend like they're going to take it, and we get the doctors and the nurses, there's no way that these people will turn it down. I'm going to be honest with you, out of 40 million people, man, ain't nobody voluntarily taking nothing.
No.
Especially something that's untested. Well, not without a spell being put on them. They might.
I'll give you $1,200 to come down here and be a test.
Oh, they paying people to take it. Oh, okay.
You value your life at $1,200, man.
Well, let's just see how that work out, right? See that? Better is a poor person with a strong constitution than a rich person with bodily afflictions.
Man.
Let's keep going. Let's go to Sirach chapter 10.
Yes, sir.
Sirach chapter 10. We're going to read 22 to 24. Whenever you get it, go ahead.
Whether he be rich, noble, or poor, their glory is the fear of Yahweh.
Go ahead.
It is not meet to despise the poor man,
Uh-huh.
that he hath understanding.
Uh-huh.
Neither is it convenient to magnify a sinful man.
Uh-huh.
Great men and judges and
Potentates.
shall be honored. Yet is there none of them greater than he that feared Yahweh.
Y'all hear that, sister and brother?
Whee!
Our whole world is backwards. We magnifying sinful people. We not even acknowledging poor people with understanding. Our nobles, whether you rich or poor, you supposed to fear the Most High Yah.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. Rich, poor, royal families, it doesn't matter. You are supposed to fear the Most High.
That's
so even
right.
in our 40 million, we got some families that are boule or have some generational wealth. It doesn't matter if you got thousands of acres or if you in a 1-bedroom studio at the apartment. You supposed to fear the Most High. When these people meet at these churches and these congregations, they supposed to be all taught the same thing. Whether I'm rich or I'm poor, we all supposed to fear the Most High, which would make us do what? Treat each other with fervent charity.
That's right.
Why is our community not understanding hierarchy, rank, order, giving people respect for just the sake of respect? It's about the understanding of the scriptures, sisters and brothers. That's what it's about. Our glory and the honor comes by meeting people that talk in high regard of the Most High and His commandments. That's what it's about. So what is rich or poor? We're talking about understanding. We're talking about godliness. We got all these people that want to be us, but we are leading them where?
Nowhere.
We're leading them nowhere. We're leading them to vanity.
Mm-hmm.
We're leading them to competition,
Strife.
covetous, all they see us is they've taken our they've taken the characteristics that have been publicized for centuries, and now it's glorified now. All they find and put on TV is the real neck rolling, smacking, arguing woman. The slow bob dude that look good and full of fornication and whoredom. That's who get publicized. Our young cats that they get handed $1 million to talk about murder and then they get murdered. It's sad. But why they got this advance money, they're having all these babies. But ain't nobody got no insurance for them when they die. That girl that was in that mansion that was being rented, when he died, she go back to the ghetto. Ain't nobody talking about that. But they get to live their best life, go on tour, making all these social media posts and videos, and then when the smoke really hit them, whether it's real or fabricated, right? Because there's mercenaries that are taking these guys out that ain't got nothing to do with the beefs, but it looks like it. It's easy to just blame it on the beef and it goes away. Mm-hmm. But who is the people dying? The 40 million Negro Americans here in the United States. These kids is uneducated, barely rapping, and they handing them $1 million.
I'm not making noise.
Let's keep going. Whoa, we still in Sirach, chapter 26. We're going to get out of that.
You said we were going to be here, huh?
We're going to be here, man. We're going to find out about ourselves today.
We're here now, man.
Because our people are steadily asking, help. Help me, God. Help us. But you don't want to do what he say. The fervent love we show each other is supposed to do what? Cover a multitude of sins.
That's right, Doc.
But we don't even want to deal with sin is. And then when we know it, we don't want nobody to judge me.
No, we want that grace card.
Even though the definition of charity is judging each other out of tolerance and kindness.
That's right.
It's like we can't read. It's like we know words, but we not understanding the definition and how to apply them to each other. Did I go further? Deuteronomy, where we at?
Ecclesiastes 26.
Oh, 26 and 4. Go ahead.
Whether a man be rich or poor,
Uh-huh.
if he have a good heart toward Yahweh,
A good heart towards who?
Yahweh,
Go ahead.
he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance.
So how many of you so coveting being rich, thinking you poor, but you got money, you buying all these groceries, you paying all these bills, but you poor? It's the trick of the devil. You got what you have according to where you at.
That's
you
right.
keep trying to marvel the sin, and you keep trying to have more, you always gonna be in a bad spot. Because you're not content with what the Most High giving you. Everybody think they get more, they're gonna do better, but what if you self-implode?
Ooh. Don't even think about that one, huh?
You don't even know who you got around you. Maybe the Most High is sparing you, because if you get more, maybe somebody gonna come and take it from you. Maybe you're gonna blow it trying to invest in get rich quick scheme. You know, there are all these plans around here. Give me 1,500, give me 200, and we'll flip it for you. Wait a minute, the Most High said you'll be blessed by your labor.
That's right.
But why is everybody trying to sell you on giving them something and they're gonna go make the money for you? Tell me where that is scriptural.
Ponzi scheme.
It's some kind of scheme, but we fall for it all the time.
Yeah.
They're not telling us everything they did to make that plan work. They're just telling us enough for us to invest in their plan, and they're going to keep doing what they was doing. Whether you are rich or poor, sister and brother, do you have a good heart toward the Most High? Your conscience, right? Are your thoughts on what's pleasing to Him, or your thoughts on what's pleasing to you? Because what's pleasing to you, you're going to always seem poor, because your sky is the limit. Dream big.
I hated that in school.
What they teach you in the church, name it and claim it.
Name it and claim it. It's already done.
It's already done. It's already yours. But you shrink back from giving them tithes and offering, boy, they're going to come see you.
Yeah.
They got people visit you like a detention officer.
It's in that letter to the house.
Now, let me ask you a question. Y'all hear this scripture, right? Let's read this last part one more time. Go ahead.
He shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance.
He shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance. Whether you have it or you don't have it, are you cheerful? I mean, if you know that you are godly and you walk in a narrow path and you have the opportunity to make it in the kingdom of heaven, why would you ever be sad?
Right. That's good, all right?
Why would you ever be sad? What is the ultimate goal? Why are you going to church every Sunday and every Easter? What's the ultimate goal? Everybody want to be saved. Everybody want to make it in the kingdom of heaven, right? Mm-hmm. So why would you ever be sad? Oh, because you're not getting what you want.
Yeah, when you want it.
That's poverty.
Yeah.
Because he said to those that are godly, you're going to prosper forever.
That's right.
We got to go back to the very first scripture we read.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be prosperous forever if you are godly, keeping the commandments. So why would you ever be sad? You're sad because you're listening to the world define what is rich and poor to you. Mm-hmm. While you hold the Bible. I can do all things through God. You're just saying stuff. You don't believe it.
Quote, not believe.
You're quoting quotes, but you ain't believe. You ain't living it.
Man, that's good, all right?
Psalms chapter 37. Psalms chapter 37. Psalms 37 and 4 when you get it, all right?
Delight thyself also in Yahweh,
Uh-huh.
and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart.
Okay, wait a minute. Whether you're rich or poor, if he have a good heart towards Yahweh.
Bring it together, all right?
Some of you think that keeping the commandments is grievous, so you got a resentful, disrespectful heart toward the Most High and what he wants you to do. You want him to give you the desires of your heart, but you don't want to have a good disposition toward him. I'm doing it because you told me to do it. I'm not doing it because I want to do it. Why do you think he would give you anything?
Come on, all right?
We're supposed to be delighted in what the Most High asks for us to do. That is the only way we can reach true salvation.
Right.
He shall give us the desires of our heart if we delight in him, if our heart is towards him, if we do what he told us to do. But we're not doing it. We're not doing it. We're not seeking his face. We're not seeking no further understanding because we got a lot of quotes and we can say our quotes, make ourselves feel good and still feel impoverished.
That's right.
Watch this. Ecclesiastes 29.
Be right there.
We right there. Yes, we are. 29 and 21. Go ahead. Sirach 29 and 21.
The chief thing for life is water and bread
No, red bottoms.
and bread
No, eyeshadow.
and bread.
I need me some clothes. I need to give me some hair wraps.
No, it say bread.
Huh?
Bread.
Baby, I need a new car.
Bread.
Baby, we where we living, we need to live somewhere else.
Bread.
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 Water and bread.
And clothing.
Uh-huh.
And a house to cover your shame.
And a house to cover your shame.
Nakedness.
Your nakedness. You need a place where you go take a bath. Do you got it? You need a place where you can change your clothes and put on clothes. You got it? You got a place where you can go eat in comfort. You got a place where you can drink your libation, your water, and then you can go what? Do your labor. So what if we was getting all of these things and building these things and creating these things together? It's hard to work with you when you want stuff and I just want the chief things in life. I talked to 3-4 different congregations about getting it in the country, about consolidating, relocating and doing it together. But you know what happened when you start talking to a bunch of people about what they want? You start finding that people want what they want and they don't include the chief things in life. Their lifestyle and the way that they live is convenient and people are doing things for them and they can just walk over here and walk over there. Nobody wants to go labor. Nobody wants to go put their hands in the ground and to the plow to do it themselves, to be independent. You see that? It's about independency, right? What was the country founded on? The Declaration of Independence from America, from England. Why? They wanted to come over here and get it out the mud and do it themselves.
Right.
We got 40 million people that carry the economic power in the United States, and we can't come together to make sure everybody got the chief things in life.
Wow.
Crabs in the barrel. I got up. Why can't you get up? Well, you're supposed to be your brother's keeper and help me get up. But instead, you want to get on social media and TV, get your awards, and flaunt how much you got. Okay, you didn't help your whole community. Tell me at least your whole family is on some land and are independent. Right? Wrong. Okay, tell me at least your church family is somewhere living independent where everybody has the chief things in life. Right? Wrong. So how can everybody in the world want to be us, like us, dress like us, look like us, have our butts, our lips, our muscles, sing like us, dance like us, but we don't have nothing?
Man.
Because we don't choose to have the knowledge to develop the chief things in life like our communities did in Black Wall Street. You understand what I'm saying? When we was on the other side of the tracks, we had more of a mindset to work together to have the chief things in life.
That's right.
But now that there's no more railroad tracks, we've lost sight of what living independent means. Who's our brother? Who's our nation? Who's our God? We've lost track. Now, I want to live where everybody lives. I don't want to do what they did to live there, although I don't want to talk to them and communicate with them. I just want that house. I want to dress like them, but I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to communicate. I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up the contact. You see that in the truth right now. Everybody don't want to give the contacts up. Hey, where you get that dress? Where you get that shirt? Ooh, I like that hair wrap. I can't remember. You know, you don't want to just tell people where you got stuff no more.
I can't remember one of them online.
One of them stores online. What's the chief things in life, Art?
The chief things in life is water,
Water,
bread, clothing, and a house to cover your shame.
Listen, sisters and brothers, you need to teach your children this. Stop raising your kids, dressing them in Tommy Hilfiger and whatever the latest clothing is right now, wearing the best shoes. Your kid growing up thinking they can't wear no shoes but Jordans and stuff like that. Your kid's going to have problems later on. Your kids are going to have problems later on. You trying to give them the best in life instead of just getting them to understand that the chief thing is that you got some shoes on your feet. You can have a good quality shoe on your foot. It don't have to be $400, $300, $200. You understand what I'm saying? You can eat and your kid don't always have to go buy an $8 meal and he only 6 years old.
Right.
He ain't going to eat that whole meal. But you have your children eating off the menu like you eat off the menu. But why ain't the kid able to learn where the food come from so he'll appreciate food more? Where did that meat come? You want to order a steak? No, you need to get them chicken nuggets. You ever been sitting at a table, your kid like, I want a steak? No. I want a black salmon? No. Huh? You get you a grilled cheese, you get you a pizza, you know. Your kids is ordering off the $15 side of the meal. Whoa. Why are you trying to order some? You know, we need to reevaluate our households so maybe we can work together to do this thing right.
Yeah.
Watch this. Go to Isaiah chapter 41. Isaiah chapter 41. Isaiah chapter 41, verse 17 and 18. Go ahead.
When the poor and needy seek water.
When the who?
When the poor and needy seek water, and there is none, and their tongue faileth for thirst.
I want y'all to pay attention to this. Why ain't he talking about you getting a new house, and when they look for a new job, when they look for a new lawnmower, they look for a new radio, a new video game, because it ain't a chief thing in life. You don't need that.
That's right.
That's stuff that we want. It ain't what we need. But when someone poor and in need seeks water and seeks thirst, go ahead.
I, Yahweh, will hear them.
Go ahead.
I, the Elohim of Israel, will not forsake them.
Go ahead.
I will open rivers in high places and fountains in the midst of the valleys. I will make the wilderness a pool of water and the dry land springs of water.
Sisters and brothers, if you are godly and this economy do crash, you are not going to be without water.
Hallelujah.
Because it's a necessity of life.
That's right.
Pack you a little bag, get your best shoes, get you a jacket. You know what I'm saying? They put you out of your apartment. They put you out of your house. Hey, the Most High is going to make a way. You got clothing. Okay, now they trying to take your shelter away, right? Because you got in the financial game. You got out of over your head, right? But now the Most High can run you. Sometimes, I'm thinking about the Most High might have to whoop some of you to take it away from you so that you will consolidate and relocate with others, because you won't do it on your own.
That's right.
It's going to come a time where people are prophesying and you reading scripture to them and they see they're supposed to be doing it and they don't want to do it. Some of them are going to have to be spanked and have that taken away from them to give them something better. I'm going to have to make you learn to take care of yourself and stop being dependent on this world. Because their control on you is you not wanting to make a decision to do it yourself. I've already told you, you're never going to thirst as long as you're obedient with me. Watch out. He said something else too. Go to Psalms 37. Psalms chapter 37. Let's see what else he said. Psalms chapter 37, we're going to read 23 to 26. Go ahead when you get it.
The steps of a good man are ordered by Yahweh, and he delighteth in his way.
A good man and a good woman are ordered by the Most High. They delight in him, right? They not marveling after sinners. They not taking pleasure in what ungodly people do. Go ahead.
Though he fall,
Though you fall, right? Go ahead.
he shall not utterly cast down. For Yahweh upholdeth him with his hand.
He gonna uphold who? The good man, the good woman. Though you fall on hard times, if you delight in him and trust in him, he said you are always gonna prosper unless you make a decision to sin.
That's right.
Unless you make a decision to start doing it on your own and trust in the world system and not his system. Go ahead.
I have been young, and now I'm old.
Go ahead.
Yet have I not seen the righteousness forsaken, nor his seed begging bread.
Go ahead.
He is ever merciful, and lendeth, and his seed is blessed.
And his seed is blessed. The godly man, the godly woman is always blessed. They are never forsaken. We are always going to have something to eat. We're always going to have something to drink as long as we stay obedient.
Man.
We could fall because there's an enemy and his job is to kill, steal, and destroy.
That's
so
right.
although
That's
you
right.
fall, if you do not weary and give up and start sinning and doing things contrary to the Most High, he will lift you up.
That's
he
right.
will be merciful and somehow you will be taken care of because his people are supposed to lend and not borrow.
That's
but
right.
where is it coming from? It's coming from the Most High, putting it on the hearts of those good people.
That's right.
To help who? Other good and godly people.
Teach, Op.
Let's go to Psalms 82. Go to the 82nd chapter of Psalms. Psalms 82, we're going to read verse 3 and 4. Go ahead.
Defend the poor.
Do what?
Defend the poor.
Go ahead.
And the fatherless.
And the fatherless, because they could have fallen on hard times. Who knows the situation? But good and godly people are supposed to defend the poor and the fatherless. Go ahead.
Do justice to the afflicted and needy.
To those afflicted, it could have some kind of mental illness or some kind of drug dependency or some kind of physical ailment which causes them to be in that situation where they can't go out and labor like you to be at the income you are. Your heart should go out to defend them. Go ahead.
Deliver the poor and the needy.
Wait a minute. Defend them and deliver them. You can't look at somebody that's destitute or afflicted or out on the street and not have compassion for them. I mean, what would you be doing if you was on the street? You wouldn't be drinking or trying to mask your pain and your hurt, right? You be looking for somebody good and godly and righteous to come and lift you up out of that situation, right? So deliver the poor and needy. Go ahead.
Rid them out of the hand of the wicked.
Wait a minute. Because the same devil, whether you rich or poor, he is still trying to kill, steal, and destroy the
Line
righteous.
them down. That's right.
So it's nowhere. Man, you got to see Wednesday. But the enemy comes after the weak. The lion doesn't go after the pack for the biggest one leading. He's looking for the weak one,
That's right.
straggling,
That's
the
right.
one that's hurt or afflicted, the one that's not strong enough to keep up. That's who the devil is seeking to devour. In your circle, in your family, or at your church, he is looking for that weak one. The strong are supposed to defend and deliver them before they turn and become poor in spirit. Meaning what? Now they are breaking the commandments. Thinking they're going to break the commandments to get ahead. God don't want you ahead that way.
That's right.
We concluded that, right? So 40 million people, is out of this 40 million Negro Americans, this tribe of Judah, there are people that are making decisions that go against God trying to get ahead. Are you poor in wealth according to the world, or are you poor in spirit? You see what I'm saying? One can be delivered. The other one has made a choice. Let's keep going. Let's go back to Ecclesiastes chapter 4. We're going to see who these poor people is that we supposed to be defending and delivering, because the Most High can bring poverty upon you.
Yes, it can.
You saw that, right? Think you high on a hog. But if you know better and you ain't doing better, you're going to fall quicker than somebody that don't know better. I'll say that again. The Most High brings the rich to poor. And if you are up high and you know better and don't do better, your fall is going to be quicker than somebody who doesn't know better. That's why he said, don't marvel after the sinner. Take no pleasure in what the ungodly are doing. Don't have pleasure in it at all, right? Sirach chapter 4, excuse me. Sirach chapter 4, verse 1. Go ahead.
My son, defraud not the poor of his living.
Wait a minute. You saying there's people out here trying to hustle poor people?
Yeah.
We've seen it. There's wherever you see homeless people at, there's people that have places to live, but they're the one driving around, supplying them with drugs, supplying them with everything to keep them where they're at, instead of pulling them out. Go ahead.
And make not the needy eyes to wait long.
So you see that person there. He's telling you, you see your sister and brother that's afflicted. I'm going to use it like this. Who out there on the street that you see, you come up one block, you see a Negro, you see an Israelite. You come up the other block, you see a Caucasian. I mean, who are you inclined to stop and help? And who is the Bible telling you to stop and help? Is it anybody off the street, or is it your brother and sister in the congregation? I'm putting that out there right now because you are supposed to know how a person lives, whether they're godly or not, to determine who you should help. I know the world has told you help all those in need, but I'm going to read you a scripture where it say you might just help your enemy and he rises up to hate you.
Man.
Watch. Let's keep reading. So we got to figure out who these poor people. So the Most High obviously has to love you if he brought you down, right?
That's
if
right.
you were rich, it has to be somebody he knows, right? Mm-hmm. We talking about the Most High is personable, godly, ungodly, his children. That means he would have known them and they would have known the commandments, the order and the instructions, right? Read one over. Let's start over.
My son, defraud not the poor of his living, and make not the needy eyes to wait long. Make not a hungry soul sorrowful, neither provoke a man in his distress.
Wow.
Man.
Wow.
Man.
You ain't supposed to let the needy wait. You see they need help. Make not a hungry man sorrowful. You know they hungry, just go over there and buy them a burger and some fries.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go to Wendy's somewhere, hit the 99 cent. You know, it ain't no need to go to a grocery store because they ain't got nowhere to cook. Right. Unless they do, you get them a sack of groceries, right? But he's not supposed to. You see that person. Yeah. Think about it now in the congregation, right? Mm-hmm. You know people have fallen on hard times, right?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to withhold it. Go ahead. 3.
Add no more trouble to a heart that is vexed, and defer not to give to him that is in need.
Add no more trouble to an heart that is already vexed. Are not they already feeling some kind of way? Yeah. They're already kind of embarrassed. They all kind of, I used to sit up talk to the other brothers. All of a sudden you see them start shrinking back. Like, what happened, brother? Everybody ain't going to be too quick to be like, I lost my job, I lost my car, I lost everything, right? People aren't going to be too quick to tell you that, but it say, don't do what? Don't add no more trouble to their vexation, right? But tell me what? It always seems like when it rains, it pours. Go ahead.
And defer not to give to him that is in need.
Wait a minute. You're supposed to defend them, deliver them, don't defraud them, and guess what? Don't defer, don't hesitate, right? All you college students, you got that deferment. That means you don't got to pay your payment back don't defer to pay them, especially if you got it. Mm-hmm. Watch this. Go ahead.
Reject not the supplication of the afflicted.
Watch. Don't reject the supplication. What's a supplication? You ask, right? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
neither turn away thy face from a poor man.
Don't turn your face away from a poor man. Now, we're going to see if this is driving away. When you see them people with them homeless will work signs, who are we talking about? Who is this poor person, right? That the Most High is telling you not to turn away from. Obviously, he don't hear the prayer of sinners, and he's not helping sinful people. So you don't know who that person is on the street. So he can't really be talking to you about somebody you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Go ahead.
Turn not away thine eye from the needy, and give him none occasion to curse thee.
Man, you gotta get the Mr. of the Week lesson I just did. We talking about cursing, not cussing you out, flipping the bird. We talking about somebody speaking against your life, because obviously that poor person would know the scriptures and know that if they had their hand out, or if they came to ask you and you got it, you were not supposed to reject them or defer them. Because if it was the shoe reverse, you would know that you were supposed to defend them, deliver them, not defraud them, not defer them, not reject them. You were supposed to help them. So we're talking about people that know better. Your brother and sister in Yahweh Shai is supposed to know.
That's right.
You can't expect somebody on the street to know unless you built a rapport with them to know what they know. Mm-hmm. But this specifically is talking about somebody that would know to curse you, and the Heavenly Father would hear it and do it.
That's right, Doc.
So if he won't answer the prayer of a sinner, then that supplication wouldn't matter. But evil people can curse you, but we're not talking about that, are we?
No.
The whole context of this lesson ain't that, right? Because he already told you, don't deal and take no pleasure with ungodly. Don't marvel at sinners. Mm-hmm. Watch verse 7. Go ahead.
For if he curse thee.
If he what?
If he curse thee.
Wait a minute. For.
If he curse thee.
You right. Go ahead, Doc. My bad. Go ahead.
In the bitterness of his soul.
In the bitterness of his soul. I can't believe that brother didn't help me. He just drove away in a Maybach or a Cadillac. Or you be like Meek Mills and gave him $20 for 16 boys out there selling water. What is $20 gonna do? You got millions. Everybody in the world know you just signed your deal. But you can't expect lawless people to do righteous things. He'd rather take a picture with a block of money than to give them 100 apiece or 1,000 apiece or something they could take home to their mama and change their life. You understand? But that's just in a worldly example. But these people are able to curse you out of the bitterness of their soul. Go ahead.
His prayer shall be heard of him that made him.
Woo! So who are these poor people?
Yeah, man.
These are the godly poor.
Yeah.
These are the poor that are living according, and their hearts are according to the word of Yah. And he hears their prayers, because you know in John 9:31, he don't hear the prayer of sinners.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And he already told you not to marvel after sinners. Mm-hmm. So this poor person knows scripture, has a relationship with the Most High. Is that 6?
Yes, sir.
Let's keep going. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 15. Deuteronomy chapter 15. Deuteronomy chapter 15. And you could help who you want to help. But who you are commanded to help is who this lesson is about.
That's right.
That's right.
You do with your resources as you want, but only one of them matters to the Most High. Only one type of person can speak a curse against you, and the Most High God answers it.
Bring you down, boy.
Deuteronomy 15, verse 7. Go ahead.
If there be among you a poor man of one of thine brethren.
All right, we got to be really specific now. Is the whole world, is those people that ran up in the Capitol your brethren?
Nah.
Everybody real quick. Nope. But they was of another race, right? Or they of the Caucasian race. Why ain't they your brother? I bet majority of them people were Christians.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are not they your brothers? Because they did something this world deems was not good? Well, we back to the scriptures trying to define who are your brethren that are poor. Watch this. Go ahead.
If there be among you a poor man of thy brethren, within any of thy gates, in thy land which Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother, but thou shalt open.
Pause. Thou shalt not look away. We read that in Sirach. Thou shalt not reject. Thou shalt not defer to help, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brethren. All right, that's in your city, in the gates of your city.
Mm-hmm. It said, which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
He gave you the land. These people are in the land. We in Deuteronomy, so we are talking about the children of Israel.
That's right.
Which out of that 40 million Negro Americans, majority of them are Judah.
That's right.
Who is your brother in Christ? Is it based off of seminary theology? Or is it based off biblical history and our history in this world? Who were the slaves that was brought over here last? Because you remember, majority of the slaves went to Brazil. So where did the slaves come from in the Americas? Watch this. Verse 8.
But thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him.
Do what?
Open thine hand wide unto him.
Go ahead.
And shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need, in that which he wanteth.
In that which he supplicated for. You remember that in Sirach? That supplication, not to reject whatever was needed. If you have it, the Most High already know you have it. That's how it came about, that conversation. I know many of you are like, why did he ask me? Because the Most High already knew you had it.
That's right.
Are you going to go buy that dress or go buy that motorcycle or go buy whatever you were going to get out of the want of your heart? Or are you going to take care of the need of your brother? Because you don't even want to give $1 to a homeless person on the street. Now I'm telling you by commandment, we were supposed to help each other. You know the reason why you don't want to relocate and consolidate is because you're selfish. You selfish in what you don't even have because you're coveting more. You're not content with what you have and you don't even want to share the little that you do have. Go ahead, verse 8.
Beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart.
You shouldn't even take the wicked thought in your heart whether you should share what even little or much you have. You shouldn't even took the thought. If you had it and your sister or brother asked for it, you should have gave it.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is at hand.
See, they knew the law of the land is that even if they lended it, brother or sister had to give it back before the end of the 7th year. Because after the 7th year, the debt wasn't owed. You hear me? If you had it, you lent it, knowing that the law within Israel is that it should be paid back within 7 years. He said you shouldn't even take the thought, because the year of release is almost upon us. You know what I'm saying? That I shouldn't lend it. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
And thy eye be evil against thy poor brother.
Go ahead.
And thou givest him not.
And you don't give it to him because you know the year of release is coming. Go ahead.
And he cry unto Yahweh against thee.
Y'all understand that? The year of release is coming, meaning if I give it to him in the 6th year and the 7th month, then, 5 months later, he ain't going to have to owe me. Because the 7th year is up on us, I don't want to give it to him because in 5 months, he ain't going to have to pay it back. He said, don't have no wicked thoughts like that. You don't want to give it because you like, they may not pay it back. Well, if they said they was going to pay it back, they should pay it back. Go ahead.
And it be sin unto you.
Now
unto
it's
thee.
sin unto you because of your wicked thought. That's why I'm saying don't give no offering, don't give no tithes, and don't help people if you already got a wicked thought in your mind. Don't bring sin upon yourself trying to do good and sinning at the same time.
Two can't exist.
How do you do that? Because you got wicked thoughts in your head, and a lot of them manifest through your mouth. You should have never did it. Well, why are you out here lending money and helping people and you don't really mean it? Sister and brother, don't you know that that's sin? If you didn't want to do it, you shouldn't have did it. But many of you are doing it, and as soon as that wicked thought comes, you don't rebuke yourself. Now you brought sin upon you. We got to find out who these brethren is, right? Of thy people. Because the people always asking God for help, but the people ain't doing what God telling them to do. Go, let's get in the pocket for real quick. Ecclesiastes 21. Hold your spot. We're going to be in Deuteronomy. We're going to come back. Sirach 21:5. Go ahead when you get it.
A prayer out of a poor man's mouth reaches to the ears of Yahweh,
Ooh.
and his judgment cometh speedily.
You always asking God for stuff, man. He's going to answer us on time. He's going to answer us in his time. You know one prayer that he answers speedily is the prayer from a godly poor person that you didn't want to help. Now we got to find out that these prayers that the Most High answers speedily, are they just from any poor person? This is if this Bible is for everyone, then that would apply. But I'm letting you know that he's telling you the poor of your brethren. So we got to be very specific as who is our brother and sister. And does this apply? If we not of Israel, then we should put all this whole book down. Because this is not a book of principles and proverbs that anybody can pick up and use.
That's right.
Because that prayer right there of that poor person, that really poor person, meaning what? That person can't supply the chief things of life on their own. But if you have the chief things of life, then you're not poor by goods, you're poor in spirit. You are unappreciative of what the Most High has allowed you to be able to do for yourself. How can you be a man if you can't even provide those things for yourself? Food, water, clothing, housing. If you could provide that for yourself, now you can think about having a family. But if you can't have them for yourself, why bring in a woman? Why bring in a child?
Make it plain.
Now that's 3 people you got to provide water for, food for, clothing for, shelter for. And many people are fulfilling their lust and they end up living out of a car. I mean, that's really getting it out the mud, but that's really, you got to really love each other and be sticking together through that hard time. But was it necessary? It wasn't if we as fathers and mothers was teaching our kids to get out there and learn what real economic value is. How to put a seed in the ground, how to get a fruit out of the ground. How to raise the cattle, raise the chickens, get your eggs, clean the chicken, put meat on the plate. Otherwise, our children are always going to be dependent on a system that wasn't created by us, but it was created to make money off us.
That's right.
Y'all hear me? Because we're always going to be dependent on them. Let's keep going. 1 John chapter 3. 1 John chapter 3. Just taking my time. Is that all right?
All right.
1 John 3, verse 16 to 18. Go ahead, Art.
Hereby perceive we the love of Yahweh, because he laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren.
Okay, so Most High sent his son to shed his blood for the remission of sins for his people. Those people are brethren and sister. Akim. Is that everybody in the world?
No, sir.
Everybody in the world was a brother and sister to John?
No.
To Peter?
No.
To Paul? Christ.
Nope.
Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. Nebuchadnezzar, he was the brethren of Daniel.
No.
Pharaoh was the brethren of Joseph.
No.
Distinct different nations of people, right?
That's right.
So Christ didn't come to shed his blood for Egyptian that he never gave his law to. Or a Persian, he didn't give the laws to Persia, did he?
No.
He didn't give his laws to the Greeks, did he? Greeks came and had their own law.
That's right.
Romans,
Same thing.
all the way down, right?
All the way down.
Verse 17.
But whoso hath the world's good
Uh-huh.
and seeth his brother have need.
Listen, the things that we have in this world belong to this world. Because you got a lot of money, you ain't got no cattle, no chickens, no goats. You ain't got nothing to go out there and feed your brother and sister with. So everything you got is from this world, right? Can I borrow some sugar? Can I borrow some bread? That's the jokes we do, right? Because we in the apartments, we in the ghettos of this. So we have the things that this world have, and we can't get them without going to the grocery store. So if we see our brother, right? Because we already know we've separated what is dependent economic goods and what is independent economic goods, right? One of them, we need a grocery store and a distribution truck to bring it. And the other one, we can go outside. Like all through the Bible, it says she went and got a lamb, clean the lamb, cook the lamb,
That's
and
right.
put it before the Messiah, right? Put it before the man of God, right? The man of God showed up. They was able to go out and get a chicken, go out and get some eggs and put some food.
meal.
They made some bread. They had a pile of meal, and they was able to whip it up with some yeast and put it in the wood burning stove and make some bread, right? So we trying to distinguish who our people is, because you got 40 million people with a lot of money, with yet no money. No goods, no dependency. Crying about dependency all the time. We don't need reparations. We need to take what we got and put the correct system into place. Right? Of education so that our next generations are the electricians, are the plumbers, are the carpenters, are the farmers, are the, what's the word in gardening? Horticulturals?
Horticulture.
Huh?
Agriculture.
Horticulture. The ones that plant the gardeners.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's one of them words, right? The gardening people have a term for them. Horticulture, something like that, right? Google it, right? What is what is the word for gardening, right? But we trying to make this,
Landscapers.
huh? All of that.
Yeah.
Landscapers who got our own bulldozers. We growing up reading Pokemon cards. When I grew up, it was like when my son grew up, it was Bob the Builder. And before that, we grew up with big trucks. Everybody was into bulldozers. Now we got boys playing with troll dolls and Pokemon cards. Man, what is that? How does that help you? It don't lead you towards construction. It don't lead you towards having a hammer and a nail and a screw and to be able to do anything. And our sons ain't even in the kitchen. Can't even flip a spatula to make some eggs or rice or boil some greens or boil some noodles. We got to rethink this thing, right? But let me get off of that. Let's get back into the lesson, right? Y'all had a little quick break, right? Verse 17 again.
But whoso hath this world's good.
Oh, that's why we was talking about that. We got the good of this world. Everybody know how to call Uber Eats, and everybody know how to DoorDash and order some pizza and some food. That's what our kids know how to do. They know how to push that number and order some Domino's, right? Go ahead.
And seeth his brother have need.
So we at least got that, right? You can order a $6 pizza and split it with your brother. He hungry. I ain't got nothing now, patting your pockets, but you gonna go right home and be like, oh, it's the playoff, Wingstop. Let me get 30 pieces. You just ordered $50 worth of wings, and that dude on the corner, you didn't Ziploc and put it and go take him nothing.
Yeah.
Right? But okay, is it the guy on the corner, or is it your brethren that the church has known that this family has fallen on hard times, right? This sister's husband was in the military and something happened to him, and now she's on her own. She need help, right? Let's see if that's what we're talking about here. Because we got some godly, we know about them, and ungodly, we don't know about them. Who is the Bible telling us that we should be helping? Go ahead.
And seeth his brother have need.
His brother, sister got a need. Go ahead.
And shutteth up his bowels of compassion from him.
There we go again, rejecting, shutting up our bowels, not helping. Go ahead.
How dwelleth the love of Yahweh in him?
How you got the love of the Most High God and You turning your ear away. You acting like you didn't hear the need. You acting like you can't help. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a big burden for you. Yeah, you worked hard for it, but that don't mean our brothers and sisters don't fall, right? Go ahead.
My little children,
Go ahead.
let us not love in word,
See,
neither
everybody-
in tongue.
I love God. You don't love God. Everybody walking around talking about, I got my own relationship and you know, I'm saved and sanctified. But he say, you just saying you got charity by word.
Yeah.
I got, they taking it out of my check. Oh, that's so impersonal. Where does it go to? You sure it gets to the people you're trying to help? Neither love in word nor neither in tongue. Go ahead.
But in deed and in truth.
In deed and in truth. Because if the Most High sends somebody to ask you and you turn your hand away and they pray against you, the Most High gonna hear it and hurt you speedily. And he said what? Suddenly he make the rich man poor or the poor man rich. All right, let's keep going, man. All of a sudden. All of a sudden. It ain't really all of a sudden. It's as soon as you did not obey. Deuteronomy chapter 15. Deuteronomy 15. We're going to go right back there, man, because we try to figure out who our brethren is. Who is this brethren that we're supposed to love and not turn away and not help, right? What is poor, right? If he ain't got the ability to get the cheap things, but he keep the commandments, is he not better off than you? If you got everything, 2 cars, a boat, a motorcycle, 2-story house, and you sinning, who's better off? It ain't rocket science, is it? Deuteronomy 15. So what is poor and what is rich? Check this out. Let's finish this passage. Deuteronomy 15, verse 10 to 12. Go ahead.
Thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart shall not be grieved.
Thou shalt surely give to your brethren. Go ahead.
Excuse me. And thou shalt not be grieved when thou givest unto him.
Uh-huh.
Because that for this thing, Yahweh, thy Elohim, shall bless thee.
Start again, Ot. Get the flow of that thing. Go ahead.
Thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart shall not be grieved when thou grievest unto him, because that for this thing, Yahweh thy Elohim shall bless thee.
Don't be grieved when you give unto the poor man, because that for this thing, because you was obedient at the time that they supplicated and asked, and you didn't have a wicked thought in your mind, and you had the ability to help them. That's why God blessed you. Why is our communities suffering? Because we stingy. One get up, one sister get up, one brother get up, they gone. He said we should show our love in person, in deed, not give to an organization or give to somebody. We need to go out to the soup kitchen. We need to go do the work so that we know that it's true within us. That's why the Most High blessed us, is to bless others of our brethren, those that know the commandments, those that are godly, not people walking around saying they saved, but they have no code of conduct. Huh? What they say, God bless you, I believe in Jesus on all them signs. But you know, they got specials where a lot of them people take them cards, ride, they walk to their bike and get in their Mercedes Benz and drive home to their mansion. So how do you know that doesn't happen to you? Because you give and you help your brothers and sisters that you know follow the commandments. That's the only way you would know. Verse, I'll finish that.
Yahweh thy Elohim shall bless thee in all thy works, and in all that thou puttest thine hand unto.
You remember that other scripture where it talks about giving alms? If you want to move to the next level and you feel you stagnated, you need to check your records of how much money that you give to your brothers and sisters in need. It might be the difference. You storing up all of this, or you feeling like you just can't get that promotion or overcome. You might need to look and see how much you are helping others, right? Your tithes and offering, and you're giving consistently, but you might want to see how much you are helping those in need, or else are you always talking about you the one in need? And if you're always talking about you the one in need, you might need to look in the mirror and check your obedience to what pleases the Most High. Verse 11, go ahead.
For the poor shall never cease out of the land.
There's always going to be people in need in the land. It's always going to be people in your gates. It's always going to be Oak Cliffs and Stop Six and Comos and Comptons and Old Blocks and Fifth Wards. You hear me? They're always going to exist. Go ahead.
Therefore, I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thine hand.
Stop. Read that again. Therefore,
I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thine hand wide unto thy brother.
keep the laws, statutes. I keep all the laws, statutes, and commandments. But do you open your hand unto your brother and sister when you hear their need? Oh, I'm going to pray for you. That ain't what the Most High said to do. But if you don't have an understanding of consolidating resources or being like Paul to make sure all things are in common, or there's no, if you got 30,000 people that are working, that are giving tithes and offering, there should not be one person in that congregation that go without. That struggles with a bill. You don't got to come out and fill out applications, doing all that. No, get them up. All right, sister, brother, you out of work? Here go 3 months. You got 3 months to get back on your feet. Boom. That's what they needed, right? That's what you're missing. If you need to find you an occupation in 3 months. Here's all your bills paid for 3 months. Why? We got millions. Cut off the multi-million-dollar world television program and make sure your congregants is up. Oh, okay. You need to go back to training school, brother. We need plumbers. We need this, that, and the other. See, they don't want to give somebody like me that kind of resources because I'm going to train. Because right now in the community that I'm in, you know what Israel need? We need plumbers, electricians, carpenters. We need people to ride tractors. We need truckers. We need to be able to get to other Israelites and help them with infrastructure and build from the ground up. You hear me?
That's right.
We need our own stockyards. We need to be growing our own chickens. We need to be having our own gardens where we can move our own greenery all across the country to every camp and Israelite group that has the same mindset. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Go ahead, Art.
Thou shalt open thine hand wide unto thy brother, to thy poor, and to thy needy in thy land.
Go ahead.
And if thy brother, an Hebrew man,
Whoa. I was waiting for that moment. I knew it was there. Who is your brother and who is your... Read it again, Art.
and if thy brother, an Hebrew man, or a Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years.
What happened in 7?
Then in the 7th year, thou shalt let him go free from thee.
You know what else happens? There's a year of release too, that if you let them borrow in the year of release, that debt is clear in 7 years. You understand? So if we had that, okay, we got land over here, you got land over there. If my son is going to work for you for whatever in exchange and the year of release comes, you got to let him go. Serve 6 years and it's 7. That's the agreement. All kind of laws about interchanging with one another of your people, of your brethren who are who? Hebrew.
Israel.
Which became Israel, which the tribe of Judah
That's
was
right.
shipped to the Americas.
That's right.
40 million are mixed in with the indigenous people here and those that came over here that everybody in the world wants to be like.
Teach out. Let's go.
Let's keep going. You ready? Back in Sirach 29. Now we got an idea of who our brother and sister is. When they become poor, you already know that they godly. That's why you say stuff, you yet holding on, you stick it to the faith, because you never know what your brother and sister might be working on to help you, because it's commanded to open your hands wide to your sisters and brothers when you know you got it. All you got to do is not be wicked and just give them what they need. Sisters and brothers can't be like, oh, I lost my job. I need about $10,000. What are you talking about? It shouldn't take you that long to get another job.
That's right.
How much is your monthly bills? How do we keep from you going under and having everything taken? What's your car note? You see what I'm saying? It has to be a conversation. It shouldn't be that hard because we know that it's a commandment. But it can't keep happening all the time. Hey, sister and brother, this happened to y'all like twice a year, every year. When is enough going to be enough? What's the problem at the job? You don't like order? It's orders and laws everywhere, right?
That's right.
What's going on? Let's talk more. Let's get deeper now. Watch this. Sirach 29, verse 8. Go ahead.
Yet have thou patience with the man in poor
In a poor what?
estate.
Estate. He also told you what is charity? Being kind and tolerant. Tolerance is patience. You would have to know a person, right? I mean, because nobody wants to tell you when they fall. It's like pulling and straining teeth to get them to say, you know, they let me go out. They downsize. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to give me my Sabbath no more. You know, nobody wants to have a conversation about when things ain't going right. You got to have the ultimate charity. There has to be a rapport. It has to be a relationship, right? Go ahead.
Yet have thou patience with the man in poor estate. And delay not to show him mercy.
And do what?
Delay not to show him mercy.
What he said in other scriptures? Don't defer.
Don't defer.
Don't hold back, right? Go ahead, verse 9.
Help the poor for the commandment's sake.
For the what?
For the commandment's sake.
What commandment we just read? Deuteronomy 15. Open thy hand.
Open thy hand widely.
Not close thy hand. Because the commandment says so for your brethren, for your akim, for your brothers and sisters. Go ahead.
And turn them not away because of his poverty.
And don't turn them away because they fell on hard times. See, the world got many of you shunning people that's not in a good situation. You actually have clicked up and you don't even want to hang around and be around people that you deem to have less than you. But hey, if I got less than you and I'm in a good place and I'm content, I'm happy, I'm keeping the law, statute, and commandment, what's the problem? We go dine at a place that the bill is like $100, $200 per family. And who said that I couldn't pay for it? Okay, what y'all gonna do after y'all come from there? I'll meet up with y'all. You know what I'm saying? We got some Hebrew snobs. We got some people that are high up, and you better be careful lest you get cursed and what? Your wealth be brought down. You be brought down very low. You understand what I'm saying? Because you deem that person poor and low. I don't deem myself poor. I got what I got, and that's what I got. And if you are the one saying that I'm rich, you said that. I didn't say I was rich. I'm just content in what the Lord has given me the ability to have.
That's right.
You the one that said you didn't want to group up with me to do anything. I didn't say that. You guys don't want to consolidate, relocate. You still want to be dependent. I have a mindset, and the scriptures taught to be independent.
That's right.
Verse 10, go ahead.
Loose thy money for thy brother.
Man, you tight pockets. Loose your money. Loose it. You know, I've been around people to be like, man, I'm always the one helping. It feels like I'm always the one. Listen, that statement right there, don't bring sin on yourself, sister and brother. If you the one that always is doing, that's because the Most High chose you to be the always doing. Did you forget the second part of the commandment? You will be blessed in all thy works. You keep getting blessed and you keep getting the bonuses and the promotions and the jobs. That's why you got the money to help your brethren. If you don't want it to be you, the Most High, just pick somebody else. Then you'll be the ones asking God for help when you were the one helping. Go ahead.
Loose thy money for thy brother and thy friend. And let not rust under a stone to be lost.
Don't be keeping your money hid in your accounts, acting like you ain't got it.
Just the it, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Acting like you ain't got it, putting it all in your investments just for your investments to fall like Enron and you have nothing.
I'm going to hide this stash over here. Get that right there.
Go ahead. Verse 11.
Lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High.
Man, what treasure is he telling you to lay up? The kind of treasure that wipes away a multitude of sins. That's the business I'm in. If you count me blessed and you think I got something, I'm telling you the business I'm in, and that's charity. I'm in the business of really keeping these commandments. Go ahead.
And it shall bring thee more profit than gold.
Ooh. If I got the Most High's favor, I got more profit than Bill Gates.
That's
Man.
right. Make it plain.
Hallelujah.
If you are following the commandment of the Most High and building up the charity which you show your brother and sister, that fervent charity amongst one another, tell me why 40 million, the income of 40 million people couldn't put that 40 million above the 1%. The 1% is only the 1% because of the money they're making off the 40 million.
That's right. Make it plain.
And to bless people within that 40. See, a lot of our wealthy blacks don't even know why they got it. Loose thy money for thy brother and thy friend. Let it not rust under a stone. Because a lot of y'all are burying them in cans, burying y'all money in the backyard. There is a treasure that we are supposed to lay up according to the commandments that is more profitable than gold. Verse 12.
Shut up alms in thy storehouses.
Whoa, there go that treasure. I got a treasury in heaven full of the alms that I've helped people, which I can cash in and get more money than you can out of the Wall Street. Your treasury is out of the what's the group? What's the real bank that got the money? World Trade? No, the Reserve, Federal Reserve.
Federal Reserve.
I got more money than the Federal Reserve, which I can call on. But you know what? There's nobody partnering with me, so there's no more need for me to cash in on nothing. I'm building Quadash land, and Quadash land gonna get built whether you help or not.
That's right.
Make it plain. Hallelujah.
Quadash land is gonna get built just to show you the power of the Most High God. You the one that get to sit at your house and say, how did they do that without us? Because you the one that thought I needed you, but I got a treasury shut
That's
up
right.
in heaven that's worth more than your gold back. Wait a minute, your fiat note isn't even backed by gold. But I got something and someone bigger than gold. I got the source. I got the connect. I'm trying to hook you into the connect, and many of you are still trying to get your wealth from the world. Verse 12.
Shut up thy alms in thy storehouses,
Uh-huh.
and it shall deliver thee from all affliction.
See, I got a storehouse and a treasury that's not here. Let's keep going. We at 20, go back to the Apocrypha. Sirach 29. Were we already in the Apocrypha? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, we was there. Well, we in 29. Keep going. Drop down to verse 14. Go ahead.
An honest man is surety for his neighbor,
Uh-huh.
but he that is impudent will forsake him.
You got to be able to trust people in surety. You know what I'm saying? It has to be a guarantee. An honest man is a guarantee for his neighbor. Right? Go ahead.
Forget not the friendship of thy surety, for he hath given his life for thee.
See, we supposed to be able to, what did it say? What Christ say? I lay down my life for my friends. Mm-hmm. We brothers and sisters in the Mashiach, we supposed to be putting our lives on the line, right? If the economy go down, who you going to stand and fight with? The enemy? What's the surety? Your surety is supposed to be those that you know of your brethren and sister that keep the commandments, right? I'm not going to turn away. I have no arrogancy. When it all hit the fan, call the multitude of Christ, call the number, we're going to give you a place to go because you should have already been here.
That's right.
That's
But many of you are still trying to figure out like this world is going to go back to the way it was. It's not going to happen. Where's the surety and the friendship that you have where you at right now? He had given his life of thee, right? Verse 16.
A sinner will overthrow the good estate of his surety.
You can't be partnering with no sinner, sister and brother. I don't care what race they are. It's about godly and ungodly. Your surety should be in your godly sisters and brothers that you know won't talk about you, won't lie, won't defraud you, right? You really got to pick and choose who you are partnering with. As soon as you see the iniquity in them, you got to know that it's always going to be in there.
That's right.
You're talking about the commandments over here, but now they talking about brothers and sisters over here. Wait a minute. They don't go together. One is against the other. Godly is against the sinner, and sinner is against the godly. Verse 17.
And he that is of an unthankful mind will leave him in danger that delivered him.
See, there's people that are going to try to come partner up, and we know they're not really thankful. They just trying to get somebody to be dependent upon. They want people that they can trust in to take care of them, but they really aren't trying to put in to anything.
That's right.
They're just trying to be taken care of. They're just going from one dependent system to another, but it ain't going to work. Go ahead.
Suretyship hath undone many of a good estate.
Suretyship. Untrustworthy people have undone a lot of good. Go ahead.
And shaken them as a wave of the sea.
Go ahead.
Mighty men hath they driven from their houses,
Uh-huh.
so that they wandered among strange nations.
How is people being uprooted? How is them righteous men that was doing that agriculture, teaching the strange people that came to this land how to grow crops, how to cattle, how to get water, show them the irrigations? How easily was it all taken from these people? Now they were deemed homeless and became slaves, vagabonds, vagrants, right? But that's their land. It's people right now saying they being uprooted out of their land that's been in their family for 200 years. How is it happening? Well, you got these taxes, right? And you got a broken family that's all over the United States. And it only takes those wicked lawyers to go find a majority of your family members that sign over that estate heirs land. And that's all he needs is a few names. And those people cash out at the stake of the whole family. So what's left of the land that was given to our families that's in heirship, you got to get it out of heirship. Because heirship is the hustle, and that's how they are buying up all the land. Mm-hmm. Up under you who have been there, and your family has been there for centuries. Let's keep going. Verse 19, go ahead.
A wicked man, transgressing the commandments of Yahweh, shall fall into suretyship.
Wow. Go ahead.
And he that undertaketh the followeth other men's business for gain shall fall into suits.
You hear that? Now we got all these lawsuits. We got all these guarantees. You were up, and now you owe. Ain't that what happened? We were the sharecroppers. We the one teaching. Now all of a sudden we in suits. We going to court trying to fight for something that was already ours and always been ours. That's because you're trusting a system, and you're trusting a dependent system that wasn't created for us. It was created to take from us and make money from us, and all they're gonna do is recreate how they're doing it. It's gonna go from gold to slave labor to fiat money, and now it's gonna go to Bitcoin. It's just gonna change, right? It's gonna be devalued, but that stock is gonna raise because we are still the commodity that's being exchanged. Verse 20.
Help thy neighbor according to thy power, and beware that thyself fall into the same.
Fall not into the same. We got to be weary of some of our brothers and sisters that we join with because their intention is to take over. That's how they do it. That's how our enemy does it. They come into Old Block, figure out how everything works. They come into the Black Panthers. They come into our groups, figure out how everything works, and then overthrow it, destroy it. If we can't extract what we need from it, we're going to destroy it and redo it our way. Happened in hip-hop music, right? How does music work? How does jazz work? How does soul work? Come in, figure out how it works, take it over. Now we still have no music. We still have no culture. We don't have hip-hop no more. It is no more. How did it become extinct so soon? Because you're involved in the world and you're involved in the other nations. Watch this. Sirach 12. Our people are always asking God for help, but got to remember charity towards your brother. Verse 2 and 4. Go ahead.
Do good to the godly man.
Do good to who?
The godly man.
Do good to every man.
The godly man.
Do good to all men.
The godly man.
God loves everybody.
The godly man.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt find a recompense.
Go ahead.
And if not from him, yet from the Most High.
Why? Because a godly man is supposed to repay you if you help him. Right? You don't expect a godly man or a godly sister to do harm to you, do you? But you don't got to worry about repaying them. The Most High going to repay them for you, right? You did good toward them. They turned around evil, but what they cursed and what they wanted and what they deemed for you is going to come back to them. Watch. Go ahead.
There can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil.
What does a sister and brother think? All these schemes and everything, all this selfishness to get them ahead. You know what I mean? I'm going to go to this congregation and that congregation. They're only looking for what they want, right? They're always occupied in evil. Go ahead.
Nor to him that giveth no alms.
Why do you think if you don't help the poor and your brothers in need, why do you think good is going to come to you? Like I said, if you were the one always asking for help, how are you building up your treasure in the kingdom? Look at that. There can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that give no alms. Period. No good can come to you if you are no good to yourself and nobody else. That's the ultimate selfishness. I'm always in need. Well, if you're always in need, what good are you to yourself and anybody else? How are you going to cover a multitude of your sins if you're always occupied in evil? Verse 4.
Give to the godly man.
Give to the godly man.
And help not a sinner.
Now, when my daughter brought the scripture to me, it makes all the sense now. How do you give to random people and you don't know if they're in sin? So the scripture would obviously have to be talking about your brothers and sisters that you know are keeping the commandments and fighting a good fight. Help not a sinner. Ain't no good gonna come to nobody occupied in evil.
That's right.
Ain't no good gonna come to nobody that ain't able to give alms. Oh, you fell on hard times. I know you, brother, sister. You was always there. You always gave into the ministries. You was always out there at outreach. You was always there to help your sisters and brothers move, to help them build. You was always there. So now we're gonna be there for you. That's how it works. That's the community. That's the assembly. Right? All right, we got a sister and brother. I've been in congregations. We got pastors say we got a sister and brother in need. That's how it happened. That ain't no special offer, man. Sister, brother in need. You don't need to know who it is. And the commandment is the heart should be open to help. Now here's the selfishness when that nosy sister and brother want to know who it is. Oh, I just want to give them more. No, give when everybody else give. That's going to be enough. You being busybody. You want the credit. No, give the Most High the credit. Let everybody's heart pour out. Give that offering, and then we'll give it to the sister and brother later on. You understand what I mean? But there's always one sister and brother in them that want the credit. I gave you a little bit more. Right? They want the credit. They want to take the glory from the Most High. Watch this. Keep going. Verse 5. We still there. Sirach 12, verse 5.
Do well unto him that is lowly.
Do well to them that are in a lower state. They should have the outpouring. If you do know who they are, it should be a righteous outpouring, not you trying to grandstand and get credit like you their best friend. All you trying to do is help them so you can get on the phone gossiping. Yeah, man, sister so-and-so. Yeah, I gave her $300. You know, you just want to brag and be braggadocious. Soft tale bearing. You tale bearing on the low. Telling people business while you trying to glorify how righteous you are. That ain't the book. Go ahead.
But give not to the ungodly.
Wait a minute. Now why you think we was reading them scriptures about godly versus the sinner? Because you are not supposed to help anybody that is involved in sin. Do well to the lowly of your brethren and sister. That means you need to know the people that you are helping. Go ahead.
Hold back thy bread.
Wait a minute. We read in scripture, hold back thy bread. Go ahead.
And give it not unto him.
And give it not unto the ungodly. The Most High said, my people are never going to be thirsty and my people are never going to be hungry. But the thirsty and hungry of the sinners and ungodly, we are not supposed to help them. I'm just pause for a minute. I know that's going to be a shocker because it was a shocker to me. But this is what the books say. Because we're supposed to make sure our brothers and sisters aren't without. But if we so busy helping the sinner and we ain't getting building up no treasure in the kingdom of heaven for it, we are wasting our valuable fervent charity.
That's right.
Because he clearly says we are not supposed, what good can come out of helping evil people? And there's two horrible things, is giving no alms, and then it's giving alms to a sinner. When he clearly said, help not a sinner. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Lest he overmaster thee thereby.
See, there's going to be some sinners and some ungodly people that are full of evil. You're going to be helping them, and they're going to do what? Try to overmaster you.
Gonna take it from you. Jack boys.
You can't be bringing everybody to your house.
That's right. Make it plain.
See, now you're seeing that the poor and the people that you're supposed to help in your house, these people that are godly people. Mm-hmm. These are people that know the law, statutes, and commandments. Mm-hmm. So he ain't talking about driving up the street and getting people off the street and bringing them into your home. It wasn't that many horrible and evil people in Jerusalem,
right.
or in the kingdom of Israel, as it is today.
Right.
Right? Go ahead.
For else thou shalt receive twice as much evil for all the good thou shalt have done unto him.
So what is good to godliness?
Twice as much.
All your good is misplaced. All your Red Cross, Blue Cross, Green Cross, all of them charities that you helping to the ungodly is unprofitable. Why you think the CEOs is stealing money? The people over there still need help, still ain't got no water, no system built, still ain't shanty towns, still walking across they dung. That all of these years, as old as I am, over 30 years, all the money that they've got, they have not proven and shown one city, one community, no families that they've helped.
Still sending rice to Zimbabwe.
They still sending care packages. They have not taught the people how to be independent. Mm-hmm. When they have had clearly the money to do so.
Yes, sir.
Verse 6, go ahead.
For the Most High hated sinners.
He hates sinners. So why would you give to a sinner or an ungodly person? You ain't getting no rewards and you're not building up no alms for it. Go ahead.
And he will repay vengeance unto the ungodly.
He is going to repay the ungodly for what they do. All those people trying to overmaster you, all those slow hustlers, slow maintenance, everybody just trying to make it off of charitable giving. Yeah, there's people that just live in that zone. They go church to church, and person to person, trying to keep getting enough. And eventually they just stop working. They all about that hustle. We ran across one.
Yeah.
Saying he need charity, but he was staying in the Hyatt Regency. Lesson learned. Go ahead.
And keep it them against the mighty day of their punishment.
See, all of these ungodly sinners that you are spending your charity on, the Most High is saving them for the punishment. Recompense is going to be up on their heads. He's talking about us helping our brothers and sisters in the faith that fall on hard times. Verse 7.
Give unto the good.
Give unto the good.
Help not the sinner.
Help not the sinner. What did he say in verse 4? Give to the godly man.
To the godly
Don't
man.
help not the sinner. What did he say in 7?
Give to the good man unto the good and help not the sinner.
Is that making any more sense to you guys?
Witnesses out.
Let's wrap it up right here. Matthew 7, verse 7. Charity, fervent charity, kindness and tolerance, judging our brothers and sisters in the faith, helping our brothers and sisters that fall on hard times in the faith. helping them figure out how to stop falling on hard times. You understand what I'm saying? Helping them go from a dependent to an independent way of lifestyle.
That's right.
Matthew 7 verse 7. Go ahead.
Ask, and it shall be given.
Who is he saying can ask? Who can ask the Father anything in the name of the Son? Who can ask him anything? He don't hear the prayer of sinners. He don't hear the supplication of the rich ungodly. But he hears the rich godly and the poor godly, all alike that fear the Lord. Ask, and it shall be given unto you. Go ahead.
Seek, and you shall find.
Why would he hear that prayer of anybody not seeking after him? Go ahead.
Knock, and it shall be opened unto you.
Knock. Who's able to knock? Those that are seeking him. They will find the truth. The truth will set them free, and then they can ask. And then it will be open unto him. What? The treasures of heaven. See, I got the key. I've unlocked it, and I will not let anybody get that door closed on me.
That's right. Come on,
You shouldn't let anybody get in the way of the heavenly resources of the Most High, because you know it's not for you. Listen, it's not for me.
That's right.
It's for you. But you got to follow the same steps of what? Knocking, looking for the truth setting you free, being obedient to what he said, giving the alms to cover the multitude of sins. Then whatever it is you ask, it shall be open unto you. Listen, you don't want to withhold the alms from the poor, lest he pray and his prayer be speedily answered by the Most High, and recompense come on you for being disobedient, rejecting, deferring, and closing your hand to help, but bragging and being on Facebook about all the things you have. Showing off every outfit and all your makeup and all your business, and you know what? You ain't helping nobody. You think God is here just to help you. Verse 8.
For everyone that asketh, receiveth.
Every godly person ask it, receive it. Go ahead.
And he that seeketh, findeth.
You got to be looking for the Most High. You got to be looking in these scriptures, finding out the sayings and the proverbs and acceptable things of the Most High, so that you can do them and not be found unworthy. Then you'll find what you're looking for. Go ahead.
And to him that knocketh, it shall be open.
This ain't talking about everybody. This is not talking about everybody. Let's keep going. Luke chapter 12. Everybody's asking God for help, but God ain't listening to everybody. He is not answering everybody. Everybody ain't really seeking him. They just want to be rich.
That's right.
But they don't know whether you poor or rich. As long as you fear the Most High and do what he say to do, he will help you. You should never be without what you need and achieve things in life if you're obedient. But you see in scripture, some of us fall on hard times. Let it be not because we broke the commandments. See, some of us could be walking in the way and the enemy, boom. But the trials that we go to are supposed to perfect our faith. Yes. Through patience, right? Mm-hmm. Luke 12, verse 29. Go ahead.
And seek not what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind.
Man, don't this passage make sense now? Now that we read earlier where the Most High said, if you thirsty, I'll open up the wilderness. You will never be thirsty. I've never seen the righteous begging for bread. You'll never go without hunger. Why should we be asking for something that is freely ours if we're obedient?
That's right.
Don't be of double-minded. Oh, I don't know what my next meal gonna come from. Stop sinning. Stop being of double-minded. Either you believe or you don't believe. You walking by faith or not. Verse 30.
For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things.
You don't think the Most High know that your groceries is coming up, or that they're trying to cut your water bill off, or that you need water? You know, it's so crazy that he gives you water from the sky but none of us capture it. If you capture it, get you a distilling system, pay for that one time, guess what? You'll never be without water.
That's right.
If we come together as a community, even if you don't live on the land and we drill down, guess what? Your house in the city, you'll never be without water because you could drive to your location on Kodash land, get water and take it back to your family. They can never hold water against you. That's called independency. But as long as you say, I'm going to just pay my bill and, well, they're going to keep on pumping that fluoride into your system.
That's right.
They're going to pour whatever they want, even poisons like Flint. You're under the control of that dependent system. But you don't think the Most High know whether you need food or whether you need water? He said these aren't things we even supposed to be seeking and asking about. Verse 31.
But rather seek ye the kingdom of Yahweh, and all these things shall be added unto you.
See, if we were seeking the kingdom, we'd be giving our alms, we'd be giving our offering, we'd be giving our tithe. We'd be working together to make sure even if I ain't on the land, something on the land I put my hand in, we put resources into to make sure that if my family needs it, I know where to get it. All I got to do is get there. We not even being that smart to be independent. We going to put our money in stocks and all kind of trades, Bitcoins and all that. You listen, if they cut the system off, if they cut your internet off and your phone off and they turn the gas, you ain't going to be able to get nowhere and call nobody.
That's right.
You are too dependent on a system that you don't have no control over. But you seeking the kingdom of the Most High. Proverbs chapter 10. Proverbs chapter 10. Verse 3, go ahead.
Yahweh will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish.
Listen, sister and brothers. What makes us righteous? Deuteronomy 6 and 25. The laws and commandments and doing them is our righteousness. If we are following the laws, statutes, and commandments, if we are doing them, Yahweh will not suffer us to be famished.
Yes.
Go ahead.
To famish, but he casteth away the substance of the wicked.
So all the riches stored up, or whatever you think to be rich, or whatever you think to be wealthy, or whatever you think that people have, what did he say? All the riches to an evil person are nothing. All that they have is evil unto the rich man. All those things acquired in riches, all the things acquired in their evil and in their wicked ways means nothing to a rich man. It was acquired the wrong way. They made too many sacrifices. They doing too many things. You can't let you can't let nobody hold wealth over you. You can't do evil and expect good to come about from it. At all, period. Yahweh supplies all of our needs. I don't even want to get to it. Watch this. Last scripture, Philippians 4 and 19. Everybody is quoting it, what we say earlier. Everybody is saying things, but they have no understanding that the Most High will never let you be without water, without food, without clothing, without a home. As long as you are obedient, the righteous never have anything to worry about. But if you wicked, everything that they have will be cast away. Last scripture, Philippians 4 and 19. Go ahead.
But Yahweh shall supply all your needs.
Who?
Yahweh.
Will supply all the needs to who? To the godly. To the people that are keeping his law, statute, commandments. You don't need to ask God like he don't know that you have a need. All you have to do is be obedient. He said you will prosper. You will prosper. Yahweh will supply all your needs according to what?
According to his riches, by the glory of Yahweh Shah the Mashiach.
And the way that you double down on that is by getting you a storehouse in the kingdom built up with your alms to those in need to do what? Cover a multitude of sins.
Hallelujah.
Sisters and brothers, we're talking about fervent charity. The real charity. Not a charity organization, not giving money, but there's things you could give more than money.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We got too many sisters and brothers that got plumbing issues. Help with plumbing. Where are our carpenters? Where are things to handle the necessities that we pay for? The car breakdown. Who could change a muffler? Who could change that sister's oil? Change that sister's tire? Where are these people at in our community? Do we really have a community then if everything we have is outsourced? So what community are we really fighting for, sisters and brothers? We don't really have a community because the people within our community have no skills to survive if they march on the capitals and they shut this whole system down. We are going to hurt the worst. Well, sisters and brothers, I pray you've been edified by the reading of the Most High's word. Charity. The people need help from God. But what people really receive help from the Most High is the Akim, the Mashpachah, the family, those sisters and brothers that are godly, that fear the Most High, that keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, and do what is pleasing to him because they know that we're only as strong as the least of us. There has to be an us, or there's no people. So we need to figure out who's the Hebrew sisters and brothers, who's the Israelites, what nation. We need to locate, we need to consolidate, and we need to relocate because the major cities are the ones that are going to feel the brunt of the schemes and plans that this system has put together to destroy our nation. And with that, sisters and brothers, we give all glory to Yahweh in the name of his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai. And until we see each other again, we always say, Yah bless.
God bless.